Hey everybody, welcome. How's it going? We are going to jump into a premiere draft of Midnight Hunt. Low voter turnout, but the voting still determined it here in a, you might say, a landslide. It was close but clear. No, wait, it was both. It was a 2-0 landslide, close but clear, to do some premiere drafting. And where are we at? We're at Platinum. Maybe you can get, I think I got 1 month where I got 2 of my accounts to Diamond. I think that's the best I've ever done in terms of, I got 2 accounts to Diamond when I was playing pretty heavy. I think it was last, maybe I'm lying, maybe it's just 1. I can usually get 1 account to Diamond here or there, but I don't really care too much about rank. I think that's the, I appreciate it. Like, I definitely like a leaderboard. I know as a game designer, it's really compelling for a lot of people, and it's really doing the trick that Wizards wants. When I look around social media and I see people sharing their ascent to Mythic, I've had friends get back into Magic and text me a screenshot of their Mythic success, and that's great for the patterns of behavior that Wizards is looking for out of their players, and it's great that players are finding value out of a system that pats them on the head and tells them they're getting better and says, here's where you're at, and you've made it higher than you ever have before. And that's a feeling of accomplishment that successful games definitely want to give players, right? One of the pillars of successful games is a feeling from the players that they are working towards mastery, and that you can, and that means both that you can see the top of the mountain, you sense where you're trying to get to, where the pinnacle is, and you can feel yourself getting closer to it every day. And Magic has always really delivered that, and this feeling of progression and getting better. And so having the ranking system really feeds into that in an important way. But it's not how I judge myself. I say I keep my own spreadsheet, but if we're honest, I've been very lax about keeping my spreadsheet these days, mainly because of websites like 17lands.com. I'm going to throw that in chat. And there are third-party data grabbers that are basically tracking this data for me. And as I've said, I always get nervous that, they're not going to be there tomorrow. And if there's anybody from like 17 Lands watching this or whatever, I'd say, can you give me like an export feature? Let me export my personal data to a spreadsheet. I hope that in 5 years, I'm still exporting my personal data from 17lands.com and so on. But it'd be nice if those sites offer a way to save that data for yourself for later if they decide that they're going to get on and do something else and shut down the site. Because that just happens all the time in the internet. But you can be pretty sure that cardkingdom.com is going to be there in 5 years. I'd say, like, even if Wizards stopped making Magic cards, stopped printing them, I mean, that's not going to happen unless it's the end of the world type situation. But, in this theoretical situation where, let's stop making new Magic cards, I think Card Kingdom would still be around in 5 years, because the thing about this game of ours is it's now bigger than the company that makes it, bigger than its ongoing present. Like it's an iconic forever thing now. As long as we are humans alive and caring about games, we're going to be talking about this one. I don't care if we conquer space and in a million years they're playing games out in space, and they're still going to be talking about, if we get that successful, I bet Magic will be regarded as this historical, iconic gaming moment. I don't know. What does a million years look like? I'm getting into sci-fi brain space here. But end of the day, let's bring it back to Earth here. Buy your cards from Card Kingdom, and you will be happy with your purchase. And if you use my affiliate links when you do so, helps keep me on the air. I'm not going to space anytime soon. I don't get $12 million or whatever they're charging for that these days. I don't know about you, but space doesn't seem likely before 6 feet under. All right, let's get some wins. Keep it going. We've been having a pretty good run of late. I don't know, some level of variance, like, the spells deck has been working really well for me. I've been talking about that a lot. But honestly, I've been getting rares in my spells decks. I've gotten the rare put a counter, for instance, in sorceries and deal damage equal to the counters, that kind of thing. And the yesterday we had the burn down the house, and all of those rares when they showed up like won me games. So there's no question that like my trophying with the red spells deck is somewhat been because of my luck with rares, but also again you're getting into the deck because people don't want to be red and they're passing you those rares. Yeah, help me pay my tax bill. That is the thing you can do. And guess what, Rob? Your order's already not only filled, it's already at the local branch of the USPS, Rob. It's already in processing. They're already working on getting that order to you, because I care. Well, here we are again. We could do Storm the Festival. This is a funny, it's just not, this is no collected company. And again, yeah, let's do it. Like, it's almost the same pick as yesterday in that we have we can cut red completely, or nearly complete. I mean, in this case, completely. But yesterday it was basically the only good red card in the pack. And the Diregraph Horde is what I keep passing to take a red spell. This has been something I've been doing as a personal flavor choice of late, but also a power choice. Again, this is a powerful move here. We're only giving up on, in the abstract, one card that we know in the abstract for the format is, quote, better. But this, if we can do the thing, and like, here we go, doing the thing. Festival Crasher, we're going to try and wheel, and we're going to take another slash. You could make a case for even Crasher being more important than Slash, but this is the one that's more important to the deck than Slash, but it's not a more important draft pick for the table than Slash. So if we take these early slashes and fail to wheel this Crasher, honestly, it's just a bad sign. And it probably means we might need to find some other red deck to be. Hat thinks this is a signal, but Hat, I just don't think the community at large is as up on the Crasher plan as they are on red is bad. Really? You don't see these wheel? See, Gimps is more what I'm experiencing in the community. Gimps, thank you for stepping in and showing me what I feel like. Well, we'll find out. Here's the thing. Deal 3, instant speed, still very good. If the Crash doesn't wheel and we're like, oh no, we can't really fight for this archetype with others, then we'll figure out what to do. But I do still see them wheel, so I'm going to go for it. And I think Astronomer probably good enough here. Also, if we cut it hard, like if nobody is seeing anything to support it, we'll see. It'll be interesting test. It seems like this is classically, I talk about the fable with the blind men trying to understand what an elephant is, with each of them feeling a different part of the beast and comparing that to draft. And so it's like hearing, well, what I'm feeling is this. Well, I'm on the other side of the elephant and I'm feeling this. You know, we're all telling each other what's happening in our narrow experiences. Startle might be the best. I'm pushing the plan here and cutting the red. Kind of should try to let this wheel, though. This is truly only for us. Like, if this is not coming around, we have failed. So I'd rather take an Eaten Alive here to just add to the spells plan. And although it gets worse in a deck like this that's not looking to spit out tokens per se. And black does seem pretty open. Well, yeah, red, we don't know. Again, it's tough to talk openness 4 picks in because we just don't know what's been in the packs. it is possible, again, that Electric Revelation was literally the only red card in this pack, and no red card has been taken from it. That is absolutely possible. And Awakener, Midnight, and Crasher. This is putting us to the test. Because these are beautiful black cards, but this is absolutely the plan, right? I mean, these are like, if I'm not specifically doing the spells thing or trying to lean into it, you just take the Awakener or the Ambush. But if we're doing the thing, like, I know, but we can still do the thing. We might even wheel this. We're not going to wheel it from here. Oh my god, I'm doing the thing. I don't care. Shut up. We can take Revenge, Flip, or Abomination here. That was tough. Oh man, just the Crasher should have been in this pack. Ah. Ambush in that last pack and Crasher in this one would have just been chef's kiss. I'm going to take the Revenge because we're trying to do a spell-based thing. Either way. Crasher pick 7 is a great sign for us and gives me hope that we will wheel the other one. Abandon the Post was a narrow, either like last keep or this is a 24th card in this type of deck. You can use it, but you probably just want, if we're like, these will be free. I'm going to take a Gaze because a red-blue version of this deck would go ahead and play these, play Gazes. And Considers. Although you take the Interloper for the Eaten Alive lane, but I like, yeah, again, Consider being +2/+0 to your 4 Crashers is super real. Okay, was this the Crasher wheel fail, or is it coming up? I think it was here. We'll take the burn, but or the Vitality is interesting too. Next is the next one, so we still have a chance. I'm going to take Vitality. Yeah, because of the Crashers combo. Yeah, looks like we missed it on the wheel. But 2 Crashers, solid. Interloper over Blood Pact. I consider it a fail in that it's the card we wanted to wheel, and it's a fail in the sense that we don't want to be competing with anybody else for Crashers. The deck has been working for me because I've clearly, 100% of the time I've been drafting it, been the only person in the lane. And when I'm not, it makes me nervous about the deck. Yeah, so nervous. I'm not saying, oh, we're 100% competing with somebody else and it's all over now. I'm saying it makes me like, it's like it would have been a better sign to see the Crasher wheel. That's all. Well, we got enough black going on the spell side that you could consider the Hungry for More, although that wheeled from pack 1. So if we feel like we're going to potentially play this, we should try to get that on the wheel and just take something like Cellar or something. I don't want to take an Abandon the Post. Overwhelmed Archivist is probably good enough here. Vivisection could play in a blue-red spells deck because we're going to make our share of Decayed. It's unfortunate that there's not a good red card to take as we sort out what our second color is going to be, because now we're in a spot of needing to lean to black or to blue. And we probably try and wheel the Vivisection. I think Archivist is the safer choice out of blue. I'm going to go with blue as the classic combo here. And now this is a great you know, this is what I'm talking about. Like, we failed to wheel the other one, so if we don't take this here, we're obviously not guaranteed to wheel it, but we're talking Organ Hoarder for the blue-red deck. I think we got to take the Hoarder, start leaning towards the blue lane, and we'll see. I mean, I would love it if this wheels, but I'm going to be prepared for it not to. We saw that the other one didn't. It'll be an interesting additional data point. Did somebody spec on the Crasher and abandon it, or is somebody else on the Crasher plan? But we got the Hoarder is too good, and our blue is darn good for what we're up to. So we're going to take the Hoarder and hope we find ourselves some other Crashers and get there like that. Oh, another point is we didn't wheel the Electric Revelation, and I said if we don't wheel that, it's not a great sign for us. So that wasn't a great sign either, to be honest. But maybe we just have enough here. Like, I'm going to take this. Arcane Infusion is a little slow, a little clunk, but it's doing the thing. It's doing what we want. It was the only red card in the pack. That's fair, true. And I'm not expecting to be the only red drafter, so maybe it just got picked up because it's not unplayable by anybody just looking to get a little extra value. The flashback is real on that card. Really? Well, it's oh, it is bottom of library. That's fair. Well, too late. I'm going to take it, but I hear you. I was thinking it was graveyard, which is a big difference, right? I'm surprised they didn't let you put the others in the graveyard in this set. But Thermo Alchemist, a great sign. We'll see. It doesn't take too long if you promise me the game goes to turn 14. If you were promised that the game was going to go to turn 14, would you play an Arcane Infusion? Of course you would, but that's because most games don't go to turn 14. I'm just saying, I'm making that extreme comment to at least carve out where the card would be good, and then acknowledging that the rarity of that case being true is why that card isn't good. Spellrune Painter is certainly going to be good enough for us here over, like, backdooring into some kind of vampire randomness. No, this is exactly on plan. A bunch of stuff that I'm not loving. This might be where we just go ahead and take and abandon the post and see if it makes the cut over a Storm Rider Spirit, which could also make the cut. I just don't prioritize fives, although we have none yet. We could take one. We'll have a whole other pack, though, to find fives. I just don't think it's a priority. So I take the post. Elementalist for more clunky value. It's value, but it's not fast enough in some matchups. But that's the same thing with Secrets. Secrets is a little... They're both kind of on plan, and they're both kind of not exactly what you want to be doing in the plan. So I'm going to take the Elementalist over like the generic 2, although that's kind of interesting as well. I didn't love that pick, though. Now, Stolen Vitality is on plan. We have one, though, and I'm going to just take Abomination. As much as this is a spells deck, you don't take 0. Yeah, I like I would take another Vitality. It's not that, oh, we have one, so we're done. But we don't... I do want an Abomination over this. If this were straight removal, I would take it. But I think Abomination is fine. And now this is our wheel. What were we... I can't remember what we were thinking might be here, but I remember... Yeah, I can't remember our first pack anymore. Hungry... I do remember thinking Hungry for More would wheel. We figured it would. I'm going to take Gale Drifter over the Amalgam. And Stinger is fine. We'll play that. I'm going to start cutting this. Revelation came back, so that's good. And here's a 5 we can take. Yeah, Crasher didn't wheel again, and I was prepared for that. So if we want any more, we just have to take them when we see them. What a gift, though, for us here. Reckless Stormseeker probably even beats out the Organ Hoarder. Scob Wrangler also good. Jeez. Any chance this Revenge Wheels in this powerful blue pack? Maybe. If the next blue cards to go are Hoarder and Wrangler, then yeah. We're going to take the rare. Rocket's Invitational card. Funny. Thermo Alchemist over the third slash. We haven't seen one of these since our first two picks. But Alchemist is where it's at for us. One more Crasher. Come on, baby. I'm sorry I forsook you, my Crasher buddies. I like a Startle here over Abomination. With the lane we have. I want to slash too, baby, but Thermo Alchemist is even better than a Crasher, I find, in these decks. Gets you the win without even having to attack. Another Startle. Maybe if I knew another Startle coming right here, I would consider something else from the last pick, but we'll take two of these. Another Astronomer. This is no Festival Crasher, I'll tell you that. Consider the Consider. Maybe we do just need an Astronomer to shore up, to give us something to do on 3 with our tricks. Yeah, I suppose we can take another Astronomer. Is it bugging you? Oops. It was, what, this one? Sure, there you go. Hey, Seize the Storm. Not a bad pick 6. We're going to be done with... a second Gaze or okay, fine, we'll play an Immolation even though it doesn't trigger anything. Immolation. Yeah, I'm kind of on the Gaze too. This just doesn't trigger our stuff. It's not doing the thing. I don't want it. Second Rev might be worth it in this pile. Yeah, the 2 triggers from 1 card is pretty real on the Gaze, given that we're working on the trigger plan. This is it, though. We're out of fresh cards, so we got our 2 Crashers. That's it. So we ended up fighting for Crashers this pack. This is going to be... This is feeling like we did get the Revenge I was hoping for. Perforator's interesting, but Revenge is on plan. Angler's also interesting, but I'm not passing the Revenge here. Somebody else was interested in Crashers is the bottom line. That hurt us, but I think the deck is still strong, and we can take a Startle here and even play 3 Startles. Stinger as well, sure. Yeah, Bolt, I don't hate either, true, but I really want to be playing creatures, instants, and sorceries, and I was really leaning away from everything that wasn't a creature, an instant, or a sorcery. Little Vault progress there. I agree that this isn't great, but I think we're going to try it with our, well, 16. Yeah, 16 I think is enough to try this. Yeah, and I think I like the build from the back. No cut, play 6 lands called. Sure. I'm going to take the 3 over the 4. We have one of these if we really decided we wanted to play one. I don't think we're going to play this, though. This might be cut just on power level, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm a Redeem Vault. I don't like it up there blinking at me. I know other people like to see their Vault number go up, and that's a different kind of scoreboard. That's cool. But I also use wild cards, so I like to know what my current wild card situation is. I mean, I got a lot, right? So the answer is I'm fine, but at least I know where I'm at. I know that I've got, this is my wild card situation. So I keep giving myself the chance to get into this deck. This is the least open it's been, but we're still going to see how it goes. And we're going to do the build from reverse style, which is to say, all right, we're building a blue-red spells deck. Fundamentally, what must be included? 2 Festival Crashers, 2 Thermo Alchemists, the Moonrager's Slash, the Spell Rune Painter, the Bomb Rare. At least one of these Revelations is in. And then we're playing at least 2 Startles and at least 1 Gaze. I want this Consider. We're never cutting an Organ Hoarder. The Archivist is great. 2 Revenges also seems good. And then now we're getting in. Oh, Seize, of course, is a Lynch, is a signpost card for this whole deck. And now we get into, all right, so we're filling this out. Oh, and see, I think we are on 1 Vitality, yes. And then we're into what creatures do we want to fill this out with. And that leaves us only like 4 slots. And this would be 11 instants and sorceries, which is a lot less than we have options to run. We can run an Abandon the Post. Again, this cast 2 spells. I was going to try this. Kind of want to try this. I get it. But definitely Astronomers, Rob. I may as well put these in as we're definitely going to play them. I think you're just right. And probably need an Abomination. I think we want both Astronomers. I think just this is a good 2 for the deck. We can actually control day-night pretty well with a lot of instants. And we can also, in best of 1, heavy startle go 16 lands, which gives us 3 slots to fill here. We're also only, we only have a tiny bit in the upper end, although, we are trying to do 7 mana flashbacks. Elementalist is an interesting debate. We've debated this card a lot. And I like it. Not all of chat likes it. I'll put 1 in for now. I like an Abomination here. And the correct final card is probably a Gaze or a Startle, but I want to try the Infusion because I've never played it. And I recognize that it even looks, it's probably fancy play to run this over, just like, even if what I like here is the flashback or whatever, we could do Gaze and it would be I just don't know if it's better than Gaze, even. That's the thing, given the costs. But let's try it. And I'll ask that. This Arcane Infusion could be Otherworldly Gaze, it could be Startle, it could be another Electric Revelation. So there's a handful of medium spells that it could be instead of this, and we'll keep that in mind if we're casting it. Yeah, I get it. People say they don't like this that much, and I don't get the hate, honestly. Other than I get the don't like. I get the don't love. How about that? I get the don't love. I don't love this either. I don't get the hate. I don't get the don't play it in a spells deck. I mean, it is still a 2-for-1, gang. It's a 2-for-1, and 2 power on a body is real. The 2 power, like, even if it does nothing on a crowded battlefield, it double blocks. You're gonna tell me that this being side by side with an Astronomer, and now we can take out that 4 toughness creature that was a real problem while getting back some, I mean, it is slow, right? Which is why it's not great. But there are people who just you never want to run this. You never want to run this. And I'm just like, I get where it's going to fail, and I get what risks I'm taking by running it because of its slowness. But never to suggest it doesn't have a reasonable job in this deck, I think, is not seeing the big picture. But I sometimes fail to see the big picture too. Again, I always try to also recognize that I am so capable of being wrong, but I'm trying to also be sciencey about it, right? Like I know that, but we're trying it, and we're going to continue to get our data points, continue to experience the Elementalist doing its thing, and get a better sense of its true quality level, which is not amazing and is not unplayable. It is definitely somewhere in the middle. I mean, can Moonrager's Slash be a non-flashback card I'm excited to be getting back? And there's nothing wrong with getting back a flashback card either. I mean, getting back a Startle, or sorry, that's not flashback, but like getting back a Seize and making 3 tokens instead of 2, that seems fine. Slow, but if you're at that point, it's going to be kind of game winning is the idea. Pumpkin Sleeves, Duncan Sleeves, no basic land redemption. I like the Wedding Crasher name because I've been marrying this archetype, but we got to be even more subtle than that, baby. It's got to be like Owen Wilson, or something like that. I'm going to be doing 16 lands. Maybe I'm being a little greedy, but double Startle, low curve, Consider, Gaze. We have a lot of Archivist, Revelation. Now these can also be considered ways to run 18. Like all these things that I'm naming are reasons to run, are reasons that mana, regardless of what we run, should be less of an issue. We just have to be prepared to be ditching spells to this as opposed to land. If we run 18, we're doing it with the idea that, oh, Revelation and these things are going to let us filter away those lands instead of me saying, oh, we can use these things to get towards them. Another Revelation over Astronomer. We could consider that, okay, I'm in for that. Let's go a little bit down on creatures. One more off on creatures and bring back in one up on spells, and one that is another one that we can cast twice. I'm in for that. I think that's fine. And who are the Wedding Crashers? Wasn't it Owen Wilson and was it Ben? Vince Vaughn was the other Wedding Crasher, right? Owen and Vince. And we'll see if people get it. I didn't realize how we had multiple people. That's awesome. We need to start a book club. We should have a Sanderson chat group that meets once a week. And we discuss theories about Sanderson universes. Thanks, Timber. We'll talk to you soon. Have fun with your guests. Look, guests. Yeah, guests. You have guests again. Aren't guests great? Land. Dr. Unks is in for a good time, too. Mistborn is I don't know, Dr. Unks, if you're breaching the Sanderson wall with that, or whether this is your next Sanderson, but I've always said Mistborn is generally where I point people to start with on Sanderson. But I think the Stormlight Archives represent his best work so far, but it's an undertaking, and if you want to dip your toe, if you want to go into the shallow end for a bit before you decide if you're going to go into the deep end, Mistborn is a shallow end romp that is just fantastic. Siriana also makes good points. Much like Magic has the multiverse, Sanderson has his Cosmere. So in Sanderson's fiction, he has a lot of different worlds, but they coexist in his universe of Cosmere. All right. We got the Wedding Crashers. We've married this deck again. What do you think of it? Let's go. Definitely competing with somebody. Somebody took 2 of our Crashers, and who knows how many of our other payoff cards. We did get 2 of the...
Not only am I your ship's captain, I am also your party captain.
Uncommons.
We're gonna get it going here in just a few minutes.
The defender that pings. So this is a nice keep. We don't have red yet, but obviously with Consider and the Hoarder, we're happy with this hand. Great start for Oppo. That card's always intimidating if you don't have an answer for it. We're going to put that in the graveyard. It's both a flashback spell for later and not a red source. We can startle on 2 to dig for red, and I am going to do that. It's not the coolest play ever, but it gives us Falcon, Abomination, and then really gives us at least Hoarder on 4. Unless, I mean, we might not draw a 4th land by 4, but this gives us the best chance to. This will help as well. We can cast that next turn no matter what. And on that front, I think I will. We have a couple of spell options here. We can go Abomination or Archivist. Archivist is going to help us find our red sooner, and we can actually just pitch the Rev if we don't find it. Again, storing some red cards to do later, but this is going to give us our 4th land and red source more reliably, so we're going to do that. Thermo Alchemist going to be looking good for us once we get it going, but yes, this is where I'm going to ditch Revelation again and be glad that we at least got one card deeper into our deck, even just looking for our 4th land. I'll take an island at this point with the Organ Hoarder. And Archivist makes a nice blocker here as well. And I like that at least the Awakener hasn't found anything really juicy to sack on turn 3. The real doom when you see this card is when they follow up with the student, is it? What, you know, the 1/2, you lose a life and draw a card when she dies card. Any of these really expendable creatures. And now Oppo's going to get one with the No Way Out. And we have to figure what we're trying to do here. I guess we get rid of the Painter, since we still don't know when we're going to cast a red spell. So that seems easy. But then less easy is Revenge versus Falcon Abomination. I guess we pitch the Revenge because we don't know if we're going to get a 4th land for it. And we don't necessarily want to bounce either of these things, although it's never bad. I just can't quite get rid of the Alchemist, even though we don't have red yet, because I believe this is going to be like the way we win the game once we get there. Oops. So I realized there was 0 hourglasses and didn't want it to choose randomly. So I think I would have actually preferred to pitch the Revenge, but certainly pitching the Abomination was better there than letting it randomly choose between those two, right? Whew. Or randomly choose which two. That would have been bad. So we prevented that, and now, yeah, that was, like, again, I think I would have pitched this and kept the playable. It's worked out, but actually we're going to Hoarder anyway. And I still like leaving the Archivist back on D. Boy, we could take this island to have a, quote, 5th land drop, but it doesn't do anything for us that we don't already do. So I'm actually going to take Alchemist number 2 and hope that there's a mountain on top. That's true. Island would be a discard, but so is a Thermo Alchemist if we don't want it, right? I mean, if we get a mountain... then this could be the Queen of Spades, and it doesn't really matter if we were just going to pitch it. So we could even double block here and then trade for the Awakener, but boy, they get pretty far ahead on cards in that case. I'm on let this happen and look for some sort of combo block later, although 4-4 is like just a generally tough number for our deck given how it drafted. But I'm going to say no blocks here. I don't love bouncing this. They just get to redo the value train on it, so that's not my favorite either. But you got to do something, right? So maybe start. We can actually also try sending both of these in here, and if they trade the Witch off, that's fine. And if they take the 6, that's okay too. Although I'm kind of expecting next turn they end up with Coven and this flies, so we'd be going to 10 on the crackback. I'm still going to do it, and we do have another token coming up. How are we using tokens? Any token usage? We're not really doing anything with tokens, so I also kind of like getting this in for damage while we can, especially with another one behind. So I'm just going to swing away and maybe scare Oppo about a potential race here. I don't even know if we play Alchemist, though. We play Mountain, we might just hold up Revenge. Although I guess if we're going to use these to win... what I don't love is leaving 3 mana fallow, but I'm not sure we have much of a choice unless we're going to go with one of the Revs. Or the Infusion, yeah. We do that, too. I'm not worried about them, quote, answering my tokens. I am worried about them ending up with free blocks on my tokens. So that was my thought there. So now here we're at, if we go with one of these here, we can get, probably if we get one more land and 6, we get an Alchemist with Revenge next turn. Again, I don't know how great Revenge is on the Awakener, given that it has a great activated ability that resets. But let's do Alchemist and just be sad that we're leaving some mana fallow here. This just says you better make Coven or I am going to block. Although it's a pretty nerve-wracking block. Blade Brand for the blowout. And you could make an argument for not blocking given that. But let's see what they want to do. Maybe Oppo will make it easy on us. Not even send it or something. But the threat of Blade Brand is just so huge. But what am I doing if... yeah. So I don't know. What do you think, gang? Are you blocking here? We get punished by +2, +0, and lifelink, and we get punished by Blade Brand, and we get punished by Cut Purse. And if we go to 10, with Revenge, though, they're effectively going 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. They're at a virtual 4, you know? And if we block and they kill this, then there is a virtual 6, which isn't that much worse. And we make them spend. All right, I'm going to do it mainly because I think that we can even successfully deal with this race if they do spend. Because if they use mana in a turn on winning this combat, it's still not bad for us. We still crack back for 6. We can bounce anything they play. Can play another Alchemist even. So I'm not sure if this is me rationalizing a greedy block or coming to a reasonable play line. It's probably something in between, but we'll see if they Cut Purse this and really make me pay. Aye, Captain. That's another explanation of why they would make that. Besides, it was free. I mean, it was a free attack, right? Of course they're going to make it, but let me pull that one up. Oh, I didn't realize I gave you a free meme, but this was clearly on from before.
Not only am I your ship's captain, I am also your party captain. Woo! We're gonna get it going here in just a few minutes.
I'm your party captain too. And
so now we found our second mountain. Great. Not going to cast those revelations right now. I like the hand a lot. We play Alchemist number 2. And assess our spot in this race. We could send the zombie back. I doubt they're blocking with the zombie. If we attack in, they're going to trade off with the captain. Right? Trade captain for one of these. We could just stay back on the strength of our alchemists over the zombie. Captain back is interesting, like let him choke on cards, says Tron. I'm just wondering if we send the siege zombie back now, but we don't even need to, right? Because they can't make a point now, and if we bounce it, they can still just replay and get anything they would have been able to get. So yeah, there's no need to attack. I like sitting back on the double alchemist spell plan here. And we can start, yeah, as Chu said, the double block plus bounce plus one active alchemist, one waiting in the wings is a good plan to take this game down. This is creature, so they are going to likely get one of our alchemists. Let's see where they go with this. If they go for, we could bounce our own creature. But it's not bounce. It actually just is too much of a penalty. So we just have to accept that this is going away. One nice thing about this, though, is that we can revenge the demon and really kind of set him back on that. And then looks like we get to block the others. Definitely going to try trading for a siege zombie here. And they didn't show anything to take out the alchemist last turn. I'm going to recall. And also, I guess they could have the plus whatever. But again, we have revenge. So we have a response to anything they might do from this position. I don't want to have to save the alchemist, but if they go for some sort of combat trick, we can bounce the witch or the captain. Or the siege zombie. Let's just bounce that and kind of crack back for the win, yeah? I mean, I don't know if it's exactly the win, but it seems pretty close. We don't need to. The system is actually good enough to catch the tap option. Look at that, everybody. Look at Arena working for me. So, 1, 2, bam, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if we find a spell, 10. So let's go look for lethal. Is it lethal? It's close. I think it depends on, right? Maybe I missed lethal. Maybe I miscounted, but we'll start here. No spell for us. So now, well, we still have blocks. I don't think they have a win next turn. I'm going to make them, I'm going to send in both here. I will play out a mountain, though. We don't need it for this rev, so... Token for sure, yeah. I'm going Hoarder as well. We block again, and they need to kill both alchemists. I can see them top decking to get one of them, but I don't see how they've played the way they've played in a scenario where they've now have, in answer, 2 answers for these alchemists. It needs to be like a 1-card draw. Again, if they drew the pump team, that would be their out. Not to name the thing that's going to then happen, but like I could see that being there out. And they didn't attack with them, which really screams that they don't have it. So we just take this, right? I mean, we actually have the extra. We could block and still have threaten the kill. But I don't think they have it in these color pairs. I'm gonna just take this. Yeah, 2 outlaws would be a sicko finish, and I would just tip my cap, honestly. Ah, interesting. So that keeps them not dead, but boy, we have some action coming up. Wow. Let's see. We don't have more cards in hand, so they're only getting life out of this, right? That's it. Oh, wow. Revenge says, no worries, Ryan, no worries. Oh, I shouldn't play that, though. Although I should rev first and pitch the island, and then we should find... I mean, if we find no more lands, that would be bad. 1, 2, spell, 3, 4, and again, it puts him to... I think we go for the win off the rev, pitching the land, and because even if we don't find another land, we might find a cheaper spell. So let's start with the rev. Found the land. Who needs crashers when you've found a couple of alchemists?
I like to do a little superior dance. Join me, boys.
Right on, J-Dre. Congrats on enjoying your hobby. Well done. Nerdy Girl, New Jersey, bring it. No blue yet, but Crasher into Stormseeker is a keep. Come on, deck. I'll even take a mountain at this point, but just let me go Crasher into Stormseeker, please. Please? Please? One time? Please? Oh, God! Ugh. Kick to the gut. If we can get out of this mana screw, we do have a couple of revenges for a flipped egg. Talk about rares for this deck. Well, I doubt Oppo is just suiciding in a perforator. Do you think it's a blade brand or what? Could be the shock. It's probably blade brand. I can't see this being anything but a blade brand play. But I'm also not sure how we like. Also, I like drawing it out. This is a more valuable creature even than the Crasher, although it's more valuable in a deck with more creatures. But do we want to draw out the trick so that it's not used on the Stormseeker is my question. Because the other thing is, yeah, do we just take it every turn? So I like drawing out the trick, even though this is one of our key cards, just also because we are mana screwed. Let's interact. Let's get them to do stuff. Let's get them to use their hand. And there you go. So we traded a Crasher for a Midnight Ambush. That's not too bad, and I'm glad that we're looking for ways to get back in this game. Astronomer, certainly one of those ways. If this sticks around and we flip to Night, we at least get to replace a couple spells in hand for some extra cards. And so for that reason, I'm not going to try and trade here. We really need to try and get to nighttime. Check those stars. Although, frankly, if we draw an island, we probably have to cast Abomination. I mean... Oh, good news, everybody. We failed to find the third land, so we are going to get to nighttime just like we wanted. Excellent, excellent. Well, a non-game emerged from what I consider to be a pretty straightforward keep. When you lose badly like this, you can feel like I made a mulligan mistake. I didn't make a mulligan mistake. This was a keep. We had a deck-defining common 2-drop and a rare, and all we needed was any land, and we could curve out with those while we found our blue. That's a thing that's mostly going to work out. It just didn't this time. And we're going to pitch something like the Gaze or the Infusion. We'll go with the Infusion since it's more expensive. We might cast a Gaze in order to find more lands if we somehow, some way, survive this. It's looking unlikely, though. Let's get rid of the Elementalist. Is way too clunky here. And then probably the Gaze, honestly, because if we get our dream, like we really don't have time to spend right now using Otherworldly Gaze to get out of this. So I think the way we win here is actually to find an island, play a 3-drop creature that can block, and then get to our revenges. So classically, Magic is just saying, we're going to give it to you now that it's too late. Now that it's too late here. But we're doing what we can, and we're not out of this yet. The slash is interesting. Do we need to slash this and, like, cast the Gaze that I was saying we wouldn't cast? I'm going to say no and just go Archivist here. More looting. More looting to help us get where we want to be, and we can pitch this as well. Jeez. That's true. We could have done slash Gaze to intentionally flip the Astronomer, but I like trying to dig for land. I mean, I just can't. That is we're pretty deep for only 3 lands, but that's Magic for you. That's true. Flipping the 4/4 is not a bad result. What I liked here is a 3 power for the Foragers. And we can live with an attack from these, and maybe even just take the... Like, at this point, I'll trade Astronomer for Perforator. We don't have time to... You know, flipping day-night would be nice and everything, but we just need to... If we trade, and then Revenge... Next, draw a land and Revenge, we're not in the worst spot. And they didn't even attack with this, presumably because they didn't want the double block, so that's good. Makes me feel better about these blocks. Oppo's just showing us stuff for our deck. Like, imagine our deck with the Reservoir and the Egg in it. We'd be like, Parpole 7, anybody? Well, here's how even an amazing deck fails. Now we're on what? Slash doesn't do anything. We can't flip. I guess we could do this and maybe find... Yeah, we could Falcon to Chump. We could actually Gaze here and might even... I think we need to Gaze for the land drop and the possible 2 spell. Oh, it doesn't draw. You're right. Sorry, never mind. That's why we don't like the card. But how do we make it day? We can't make it day with these cards that I see. Oh yeah, right. But like... I'm not going to make it day with a slash to the face or something. I mean, I can't just fire this off to make it day. So I'm going to go Abomination for the moment. And we're just going to try and draw a land naturally. You might think we're dead. You might think we're dead, and you're right, because even if we bounce the dragon now, we are losing to the lurker. Ah, well. Didn't have a way to manage 2 creatures there. No victory dance in game 2, but one of those not much to learn from losses. We kept a reasonable keep that did need some luck, but not a ton of it, which is why we kept. Just needed a little bit of luck and didn't even get that little bit. But let's get back in and keep looking for wins. There we go. That's a much better looking opener. Even if we don't have anything on 2, but a startle we don't want to use. I like this better. Now we're just crossing our fingers that Oppo doesn't play a Dream 2-drop for this Awakener. Good news, while they have a 2-drop, it's not a Dream 2-drop. Bad news, they have a good 2-drop out. Yikes. We're going to go ahead and startle for damage prevention. See you, Robert. All right, lots we could do here. I don't like trying to remove anything because the Awakener just does the thing in response. If we try to kill the Awakener, it becomes 4 power. If we try to kill this, they get to sack it for free. So there's no slashing happening here. We don't have a 4th land yet, so I'm inclined to Archivist and look for it. Painter is the other option. We do have Revelation to go digging for lands also, but Archivist gives us something to threaten blocks, and... oh, not on this. Not really. It doesn't even really threaten blocks, does it? But it does give me a loot right now, which I want, so I'm going to do it. And if we loot the Revelation away, we could hold it for sack, but if they don't make us use it, I guess it does leave their mana fallow as well. So that surely was an option, but it's no great value to pick off an Awakener and while it's flipping. I mean, they still get the card, and sometimes you have to do what you got to do, but I didn't like it there. And now I'm trying to decide how greedy to be, and I'm going to be greedy enough to pitch the Rev. It's just that if we don't find land, this could have been the way we find land. I just don't like taking turn off to do this against a deck doing this because of exactly things like this. Like, we're under some pressure here. So I think to win this, we want to either deploy creatures or removal if we don't find land. But we are not really going to have time here to Revelation looking for lands. And got lucky and found what we were looking for in some more land. Not even that this is a spot where we can 2-spell super well. Oh, we can Archivist to make a 2/1 flyer, but it doesn't really have blocks. But we can go Astronomer, hold up Vitality. Can't block the Socialite, though. Maybe we are in a spot where we're just holding up the Slash. You like Astronomer, hold up Vitality. I just don't know if that, like, what does that block get us? So we have a 5/3. Are we that we've spent 2 cards on? We can't block this, and we're still trading with this. It just doesn't feel like the answer gets there. I kind of like Oh, first strike on defense. That's right. That's right. Okay. Sorry. I was thinking. I always forget. I cast Vitality so much on the attack. I just rarely use this defensively in this deck, and I forgot about the first strike. We'll risk it because we can block and force them into the Awakener plan, and then they shouldn't have the mana from there to do anything about our haha. So thanks for the reminder on Vitality. Oppo kind of sniffing it out, but that's okay if it prevents them from going for it. And now they've gone shields down, and if we want to slash the Awakener, we can. But a lot of things to kill here. But now I'm happy that we can at least Elementalist back the slash to kill a couple of these key things. Second slash. Maybe we need to try and make it nighttime through like Storm Seeking. Although we don't have a land, I would love to keep this Vitality up. I love chat. Hat. Letting them untap here is bad. Radiantware. Don't play anything and pass. Letting them tap here is kind of bad, but we end up with so much to do. Like I say, yeah, this is just good for us to switch to day and night. It's somewhat good for them too because of this and everything, but I think we actually are in a nice spot if we go nighttime here. All the tokens do is threaten some damage. When to do it is an interesting question, but I think, what are we going to loot away? They're sniffing the Vitality. We could probably just send this away, and maybe they would get a little cockier with their attacks. If we don't... So I think we go Vitality, and maybe even Elementalist, since we picked up the second slash. But I do like getting back more slashes here. What do you think? I'm going to say... maybe even the Painter? Like, I want some land here. But I want the ability I want the ability to go back and get these bolts. So I'm going to do that. That's what I did. I did it. And we say, boo, you got us. Boy, there's going to be a bunch of these. Here, it's your Moonrager slash turn. All right. Although the trouble is, again, we can slash and they just get to save it. Let's startle. Doesn't really matter what we startle. I don't think they. I don't even care. Like if they have to sack either of these, that's pretty good too. Let's do it here. Are you gonna go for it? All right, they're going for it. So that makes it worth the slash to get it dead first. And then we'll slash the zombie as well. Crasher, Stormseeker? Yeah, it's weird they let us draw off the startle. The idea was, like they could have just done that in response if that was their plan, right? We'll take it. We'll take it. And obviously want to give the haste to itself. And yeah, I'm going to use my decay tokens for damage because that's really all they do in the deck. Flame on. That is a desperation move we like to see. And ooh, maybe I'll go for Revelation pitching Island here. Although, nah, we just want to max out damage. I'm just not seeing a multi-spell turn I love unless we get something back for 2 mana that we want to do, which I don't see here. Almost want to make it night again. We can do this at instant speed. But yeah, let's just get Slashback. Or it's Abomination or get Slashback, and I'm trying to decide about this island, whether we keep it for the Rev or not. I guess we keep the Rev for the island. We can also just get a flyer. That doesn't suck either. I think just Abomination, though, here makes sense to me. Not casting anything. It might be, maybe it is just Elementalist. More mana used, and we get removal back. So that if they play a 3 or less toughness defender to answer this, we can just get through it. We can even get Vitality if we wanted, but I think just the slash is still better here. Now, a blocker we can kill with this is just almost impossible to beat. Oppo agrees. A little more like it. This looks fine too. Gaze, not my favorite, but it has a home here with the double cast and the ability to loot it. In fact, you could make a case for not even playing the Gaze and trying to flip the Astronomer and rummage the Gaze. Maybe that's fancy play, though. What do you think? So you just fire this off? I mean, maybe we're up against Champ, so we fire it off because now we know that we're needing to answer something. So yeah, if this changes things for me, makes me want to take a look. Like with the Revenge, for example. I'm going to startle next turn. Do we want to put any of these in the yard, though? Maybe the Consider? Yeah, that's interesting. Because we have the mana to do Stormseeker and Revenge. And then we can get it back with the Elementalist. I don't think we have space to Consider for a while, so I'm going to ditch the Consider and keep the other two. And that's a fine order to draw them in. We also have reasons we like these instants and sorceries in the graveyard anyway. Not only for the Elementalist, but for the seas that we have. Sorry, I meant to play the Astronomer. I have the Startle. I saw the Startle and was like, oh, I'll Startle this, but then I just meant to play the Astronomer and didn't. Sorry. I'm glad we did, because, like, I guess it didn't help. I mean, if we didn't see an answer to resetting the Champ, I would have binned everything. So I feel you, Jim, but it was informed by the turn 1 Champ that I bothered to fire off that Gaze. But I will fire off this Startle rather than take damage and do nothing here. I mean, resetting this and putting it on top or bottom of library is just a sicko play. I love it. And we're going to go ahead and seek some storms here. I also like getting the night-day thing going, given the two lightning bolts in our pile. Oppa with pauses. Let's see. How do we get blown out by 3 mana attacking with a 3/3? I don't think there's any, like, I guess Blade Brand does it, but it's just going to do it, so we're going to risk it. Yeah, it looks like Blade Brand. Darn it. Oh, Geist Wave. Okay, we're fine with that. A little wheel spinny. Not card disadvantage, but wheel spinny, and I'm happy if Oppo wants to wheel spin. Yeah, the thing is, the 2/1 flyer is not a blowout. That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, how do we get punished? And the 2/1 flyer doesn't actually punish us. This is the only deck and deck style that I would play it in, Jim. Because a little bit of card disadvantage to get to a game state where you take over with wild advantage is fine. You can give up a little advantage if your deck plan is setting up to recover it and then some later. We can let it go nighttime here. It really only helps us currently, and then we can revenge the champ. And even with the champ being a 5 that gets bigger, they're also encouraged to do things pre-combat to make it bigger. So we got a lot of ways that this will be fine. Do we want to send in with our 3/3? We have revenge. If they block, we are priced into using it on one of these things, though, and I don't want to do that. I really want to use it on the champ, so we're going to pretend like we're playing scared here and stay back. Larder gets to larder harder. Glad we've permitted the term wouldn't put. Sometimes it takes chat filters for me to learn what the new slang is. Not going to block or anything before we revenge. The lack of Abomination attack is interesting. It suggests they're playing around the 2/1 -2 flyer. But that's not what we got. We're going to fire this off now, see what they've got. This could get countered. Let's find out. But we got to try. We can get it back with Elementalist and try again if this gets countered. They are putting it on top. That's interesting. I would have figured Champ would go to the bottom, but maybe they got a lot of extra zombies behind. Oh, they can cast it right. They can recast it right now. Interesting. This is... let's see now. What are we gonna do? We can Astronomer to get that out as part of the day-night cycle. We can Elementalist and get back some bounce. I don't think we want to do that yet, though. Yeah, it's an instant. We can just let it... Well, but the trouble is, we could let it flip and pass, but I want to get the Astronomer in on the night-day action. That's what I was thinking. But we could do that. Certainly this being a 3/4 is a lot better. Yeah, I like having a 3/4 on defense. Do this, too. I like sending in these zombies as 3/2s. Might as well. They're getting a lot of value out of this larger zombie here. That's an issue. But it's twice. And it's a spell itself. That's important. It's funny though, Hat. You're right. Yeah, some of the tools this deck is missing that other versions of this deck have had from me are bomby rares that are synergistic, and the draw a card ping one, which would be pretty decent in this matchup, clearly. Let's try this. And I like this. Pitching the island. Keep playing lands as we move up to our flashbacking. And what does Astronomer get us back? We can startle with Astronomer. Really, our air problem is going to get us. Like, we're on a short clock up top and nothing there for that. So we need to solve that problem while not losing on the ground. And that's going to mean Astronomer. And then we can cast another spell, go back to day, and at least get some Astronomer action. We shrink our Slasher. But we do this and Gaze, and then we have Vitality on defense and a flipped Astronomer looking for more action. So I'm going to do that. We can even decide what we get here. Don't want the land. Abomination is what we want up in the air, and Slash will help us with the other one. So, I mean, I hear you, Jim, but also let's remember, like, God, everything is so darn playable that, like, this has ultimately been worth a card in terms of getting rid of the 2 cards we didn't want and helping us dig to find an answer to a real problem. So, you know, I'm going to do this way first, though. Start with a flying blocker. And then seek removal after that. And we can even pitch like land and elementalist, and we can even find those coming up. Let's see. Let's do this. These aren't blocking. I'm going to keep sending this in. Why not? Might be too slow here. They were so wide that with the Flyers getting in for sure. Yeah, let's do we need Elementalist? To get something back to not die? I think we need to do it this way. Just the one, because the Elementalist could end up mattering in our ability to stabilize by being a blocker and getting our bolt back. So I'm going to do the 1. And we still have Vitality here on D. Good. So they're offering what seems like a sensible trade. We're going to go for the block with our less important creature that still wins combat with the Vitality. Well, maybe this is a less important creature given the card quality choices Obsessive Astronomer is giving us. Oppo with it all. Sometimes that happens too. We get Abomination plus the slash, though. The real question... Oh, I should have just done the token again. Not that it matters too much. That play will be available again if we keep the Stormseeker. Just think Oppo's getting too much value and has had too much removal, though. Made some sweet plays to undo our early interaction, and now we're just overwhelmed. And to that end, we do have to give up the Stormseeker now. Don't really have time to take any damage, and I'm just happy that Oppo didn't decide to swing out with these other two. Because, I mean, we just had to take this. We'd be... I don't know why Oppo didn't want to put us to 1, is what I'm wondering. Like, we just go to 1. We'd be so dead. But Oppo giving us a chance. And now we slash the Interloper anyway, and so I guess we wouldn't have gone to 1, but they, from their perspective, we might have. Elementalist gets us back a blocker. Startle could keep us alive. The Elementalist can get back the Bolt, and then Startle to stay alive, and then Bolt to try to... really, the Amalgam is real tough to beat here. I don't know what tools we have for that, actually. I'll just take a slash, though. Maybe it was Revenge. I should have gotten Revenge. At least that bounces it. I'm just kind of spinning wheels here, though. I don't think we have the tools to win this one from here. So, casting spells and hoping Oppo makes more mistakes, but I think they can win through quite a few mistakes here. Now, do we go to 1? What's our plan if we go to 1? What's our plan if I chump? That's the thing. There's no plan. I guess the plan is we find the other bounce spell, we block and slash the Perished, and we bounce the Amalgam, and then we're technically not dead. All right. So that's the plan. The plan is to draw our other copy of Revenge and answer both of the threats that come at us next turn. Oh, Grow Champ. Oh, well. Yeah. That was all just fumbling around with a inevitable death. I was dancing on my own grave there for a second before getting in it.
Is this a dead man, Doctor? Very dead, Mr. Spock.
There were no outs. There were only spells that could be legally cast. Well, that was a loss by facing off just a good deck that beat us soundly. The other loss was a Mana Screw non-game. So, kind of feel like we're 2-1 with the deck so far in actual games of Magic. See if we can get to third win. Keepable. I like that at least to consider as something to do on our turn here that's not startle. Current spell casting power not great for the elementalist, and we don't have a fourth land, so I'm going to go ahead and mill that. And then let's just Stormseeker get going, make him answer this. New plan A. Spells schmells. What? All right, plan B. Plan B. Archivist. I shouldn't have played the land before Archivist. We may have a world in which we want to pitch the mountain, but I'm like always going to want to play a land this turn, so it doesn't matter that much, but for perfect sequencing, no need to play the land out ahead of your loot. And I think we want to cast this next turn if we can, but we can throw an Infusion or a Revelation in the yard to just fuel this a little bit. Infusion seems like the best choice, since this, like I'd rather cast a Rev than an Infusion, I think. So I'm gonna do that. This card's just a house. Like, Werewolf, the deck isn't that great, but there are individual werewolves that are great, and this is an individually great werewolf. It just has a threat of activation that almost makes it like this 3/4 unblockable. It's pretty sick. We do have the revenge for it, though, which I'm happy about. But I'm also thinking for this turn, we Thermo Alchemist and... I like even attacking here, and because this draws a card, and if there's a land on top, we would get our 5th land played. And if they block, we startle. If they don't block, we get 3 and we startle on their attack. So I'm going to send, and they probably don't block because their creature is just better. So in a sense, it's like all right, well, either we get a chance at finding our 5th land play, or we get some free damage in. So we got the free damage lane instead. Yeah, another good uncommon werewolf is just the 3-drop in green that puts counters on stuff. You don't need to be werewolves for that just to be a house. Can't block because even if I startle, they could pump and still take out the Alchemist, but I am going to startle for some damage prevention. Elementalist getting slash back. Such a real card. Ugh. We could seize, but then they could slash our seize before it's big enough, right? We get 1, 2, 3. Well, it's a 4/4. Actually, never mind. We could do seize and have a slash-proof creature, and really try to affect the race. But I'm working out. I'm gonna be a good boy and not do things till after I've decided my full turn. I am gonna send Archivist and offer that up because I don't mind that dying, and they might not block anyway because we might have another startle. But let's offer. And I am gonna go ahead and seize since it is bigger than the slash. And look at the old Alchemist. You don't even have to manually tap ahead of it. You can literally just respond tap. Great card, but we have a good race situation going on, due no in small part to our great werewolf, the Reckless Stormseeker, that got in for 3 and then made them spend their entire next turn killing it. But again, threat of activation makes this unblockable. Still don't know if I coined the phrase threat of activation or not. Many people have told me that I have, and if I did it without realizing it. But I don't know. Maybe I did. No blocks. What you got? I guess I can't name who I heard it from, so maybe it was just my own brain. Festival Crasher. Nice. Kind of like sending in first here and seeing if they want to do anything. And we'll send our zombie as well. We can grow that 4/4 by casting our own instance. Does that untap it? All right, so we're just gonna revenge that and blow him out pretty darn good. We can even let it land, but it doesn't matter either way. This is what's happening here. Slashing's on the wall. All right, sure, I'll take credit. I coined threat of activation. Yeah, where's Mike been? Hopefully he's on vacation, having a good time. And we're only not seeing him because his life is going so awesome he doesn't have time for us right now. Marshall definitely coined setup cost because he actually asked me if I could come up with something better than setup cost. We workshopped what to call setup cost, so I know that's Marshall's. With the C's, we just want land, so the rev isn't doing that much for us here. Yeah, sorry, rev for lethal, though, is pretty good, but is it? Let's see, we get, yeah, right, because we get 2 in and then trample, so we can do that at instant speed, though, so let's start with an attack, right? Yeah, like right now we would just take this. Although this doesn't do anything, they don't pump this, right? So we should actually just fire this off. This is not the same. This is not the same as this one. They played a different one. Well, they might have something, but I'm going to make them have it. Oh, now we got Startle, if they've got something here. All right. Glad we got 3 wins here. I like this deck a lot. We stumbled on mana once, and you never know when this game is just going to hit you with another of those and end your event pretty early. But now I got my halfway wins. You know, we're at least 50-50. That makes me feel good about where we landed on the deck. We take a look at that fundamental question about the sketchy gaze card that Jim doesn't like. I don't like it either. Like I said, this is the one deck where I'm willing to play it because I think it does do a lot of synergistic things here, especially being. I mean, what it's got going for it is that where does it come up with a card's worth of value? It comes up with a card's worth of value in this deck by being a flashback card that still pumps the Seize the Storm, even when it's cast the second time. It has Festival Crasher and Thermo Alchemist double triggers, so we love triggering all of our Spells Matter stuff twice. And it allows us to find card advantage by milling disturbed or flashback creatures because of the graveyard clause. So that's the collection of things it has going for it that makes me want to run it here. Alternatives include a third Startle, Abandon the Post, 17th land. But that's right. We could take it out for a land, but it helps us skimp on lands because it makes sure we draw it, right? So, I mean, we can take a land out. We can put a land in for this, but if we have this in our opener, it's kind of a keep because it helps us find our lands. Another Astronomer, just a 2-drop, is a possibility. But that's kind of where it ends, or more creatures. I mean, you could just up our creature count from the current, we got 13 instants and sorceries. We could drop that a little bit. Our deck has been a bit mana hungry, and I've been not finding reasons to, like, I would almost, that's probably the either Revelation number 2 or Gaze number 1 should probably go for land number 17. We have been very choked, and I've been talking about how, well, we can be at 16 because we have Revelations. Yeah, but I haven't been doing that. I haven't been going, oh, we're stuck on 4. Let me take this turn off to Revelation away to spell to try and find land, right? So, and but as we cut things like Revelation, Gaze gets worse as we find fewer things to mill into our graveyard for value. So there's that as well. But let's be grown up. Like I think I almost want to go this. And maybe even cut a Revelation and put in a Startle. Because these have been hard to cast. When we've had 2 of these, it's been bad. I'll say that. And Startle has been pretty effective. Yeah, I don't want just a random Tavern Brawler. I think that's not where we want to add to. But I think I'm gonna try this. Yeah, you discard one to the other, then it's true, but it's like still like in general, it's been fine. It's not what you want to do. Like when you can do that, but it's not ideal if you're doing that, especially early. Which tends to be the time where you would be doing that, right? Because if you're later on, you would just go ahead and discard lands to both of them, right? Use them both effectively. All right, another big win point: the 3-win threshold when you're on a no fouls to give situation. Some pressure here to win this one and get really close to our gems back. Keeping this. No 2s, but we got our Stormseeker on 3 to make Oppo answer that question. Boy, we're seeing a lot of turn 1 Awakeners this event, which is making me happy that we're even still in it. This is such a great turn 1 play. Silver Bolt is tough. If we don't find anything else to do, I'm still probably just offering it up. Sure, they just kill it with the bolt, but we make them do that and give us some time to get to our other action. And there's nothing else to do. So, yep, I hate putting our rare out for them to just eat up with the bolt, but it takes them off of doing the Awakener for a turn if they want to kill this thing, and we're certainly not sticking around to block. So just gonna start saying, hey, look, You don't have to kill this thing right away, but are you sure you're gonna just let this happen? And like next turn, I kind of like, you know, yeah, especially if they're gonna do that. Wow. All right, so we're gonna go revenge, haste up and pump up this zombie token and get in for a lot of damage here. You sure you don't want to take a turn to kill this here slasher, Oppo? I think you do. I think you do. There it is. We're flooding a bit here. The Revenge makes this not awful to play, but not great. I'm going to just go Hoarder and look for other things to do before the Seas play. Let's see. Also, we're nighttime and we have 2 slashes, so we get to leave the red up and look for that. Love one right here. Instead, we'll take Elementalist and at least dodge a couple of lands. All hail Organ Hoarder. Boo Earns. Really sucks that this got exiled because it does not, now that I've read this card, help our Seize the Storm if it gets exiled, and we're totally playing the Flood meme. Darn it. Come on, deck. Not like this. Also, you get another one of these. Well, now there's nothing to do but seize and hope they don't exile from our graveyard again. And I don't even really have the Elementalist get back seize and cast it again play because it just kills this Elemental if I do. Oh, man. All right. Well, we were not... it's kind of funny. This is the card that I keep passing to get into this deck. So it's kind of poetic justice that a couple of Diregraph Hordes are going to take us out of this event. Because this deck that I'm piloting today could have a couple of Diregraph Hordes if I drafted more traditionally. And now, are we just in a spot where we kind of have to accept this? I think so. Let's try and get a trade here and then Elementalist it back. Oh, sorry, they took it out. But anyway, we're going to get a trade here while we can and hope we draw something. We might be able to go, like, Moonrager slash the Awakener and then get it back. That's, like, our best hope. Certainly we need to trade here. Yeah, we didn't get crawled. Look at that. I mean, sometimes miracles happen. And we do get to go land, Astronomer, Elementalist for no value. But we do flip it to daytime, and we rummage away to hopefully some value. Good boy. Good game. Oh man, send your zombies. Why not? Papa wants to give us a chance. We'll take it. Alchemist, Painter here, and then pitch almost anything we draw to Revelation after we flip it to nighttime. I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to start here. I respect that. I respect that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. These maybe they have other things they wanted to do with their zombies. This type of deck tends to have a lot of tapping stuff in it. Yeah, but the and the LR mantra of, you know, don't send these unless it's lethal. But here I think it's so close to lethal that they might as well. This offer is interesting. I don't know. This screams of like, what is this about? Why send that and not everything else? I mean, yeah, we got to try and kill it, but I just don't understand what this is even about. But sure, yeah, we'll pile on and you tell us, Oppo. Yeah, we have no choices. This is like classically one of these spots where Oppo might be thinking, "Ha ha, got him," and we're like, well, "Yeah, what do we? How do we win if we don't? If you have anything, we're dead. So show it to me." But if this just what? I don't even know what's going on anymore. I mean, we're still dead. Maybe that's it. Maybe Oppo's like, we can do whatever we want, and we're we're still gonna win. I just don't understand what Oppo's doing here. And actually, they don't have any nighttime, daytime. We'll let it go nighttime. And then we actually have some possibility here. I still think we're pretty dead, but I like puzzling through what this deck can do. So I'll show you what cool play it can do that's not gonna matter because we're dead. It's not gonna matter because we're dead, but we'll at least do the fun play. And I guess I want them to commit to attacks before we do anything anyway. So I'm just gonna let them commit to attacks. Ha! Now we're gonna totally get him. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Oh no! Well, we had him until that. That got us. But until the defenestrate, we were golden.
All things that I used to know have gone out the window.
Oppo knows they got so lucky with that defenestrate. So lucky! But this is what I was trying to do, this kind of thing. We were supposed to get a slash to, you know... We're supposed to block and slash something and, you know, then not die. Alright. One bad draw and two good Dimir decks. That's what took us down today. We got halfway on wins. Ugh, really felt like this was at least a 4-win. If I were I didn't par it myself, but I would probably par this one at 3.5, 4. It's not the perfect version of this archetype, and I think we did end up fighting for somebody over it. Because we failed to wield 2 Crashers. And so if you imagine this deck like upgrading something like the Second Revelation and, you know, Astronomers and Arcane Infusion and even like a Consider, if those were upgraded into another Seas and 2 more Crashers and 1 good blue or red rare, then this deck becomes like a 4 or 5 win type deck. But this was not the best this could be, but certainly shows how available this archetype is, that we kind of looked for it, found it, and it was basically here again. And I've been enjoying playing it. As you see, it's a fun angle to come at the format from. Even as I lost there, I was having fun kind of puzzling through what the deck could do, even when what it was not enough, right? So it was fun. I like the archetype. I like that Red has a way to go in this format that I enjoy playing. And I like that really the self-correcting nature of draft kind of has saved this format. We weren't sure what we were going to think of things about a week or 2 ago, right? When blue-black was blotting out the horizon. It was powerful to do in quick draft even and everything. And so it was just like, oh boy, are we stuck in the blue-black doldrums? And the answer is no. There's stuff to do here. Blue-black is still excellent. We got whipped by it a couple of times here. but I'm mainly still enjoying the format because there is a variety of things to do. So that's cool. Thanks for hanging out, YouTube buds. We'll catch you the next draft. And let's see, we're a little early on the day. I haven't done my homework for music redemptions, but there's the AMA that's been sitting here forever. Maybe I'll hit on that. I don't know if Septimin is here, and I kind of have AMA'd it anyway. I'll do a quick follow and at least get one of these things off my list here. So, excuse me. Hey everyone, Septimin asks, to what extent do you think MTGA's systems, being free to play, draft pods, matchmaking, etc., reduce variety in limited? And really, the traditional limited experience is 8 players sit down in a pod, they draft together, and then there are 3 rounds of Swiss pairings in which you produce 1 3-0 player, 1 0-3 player, 3 2-1 players, and 3 1-2 players. That means that of the 24 packs, the only cards being used in any of the games are the cards that were in the 24 packs you used in the draft, and it creates a balance of experience in that even if you take your like, let's go to a historically unplayable color, like let's go to the classic green in Battle for Zendikar. If you were which by the end pros were like saying, I will not take a green card. I will just absolutely not take a green card, which made for, I would actually kind of want to go back and watch high level drafting of Battle for Zendikar, given how off of green the community was, like truly like don't play it. But the thing is, generally somebody's got to be green, and when you're battling in pod, it balances out a little bit because like at least somebody's got to be green, and maybe they have a decent deck because they're the only one. And at the very least, my play variety as a player in that pod, when you play in pod, you're inherently going to have more variety because you're inherently less likely to face mirror matches. I mean, if we're talking about variety of experience in limited, that's the number one thing that drafting out of pod reduces the variety of decks you play against, unless you count more mirror matches as additional variety. You're like, well, the trouble with in pod drafting is that I never get mirror matches, so maybe you think mirror matches are a plus, and that out of pod drafting allows you to experience the fun of 2 blue-black zombie decks going against each other. Although frankly in this format it doesn't, I mean, you still get mirror matches just because of the way pods break, right? We saw, I remember there was one after pack 1, one of the not Pro Tour, in the championship world champ drafts, like 3 players were in the same color pair, and you're like, these players are too good, this is bad, like, and then something gave, like one of them got out of the pair because they were so aware of what was available and not. The thing that the other thing that MTGA's systems do for variety, though, that I want to bring up is, the introduction of best of 1. If what you are interested in is a variety of different decks and opponents, regardless of whether it's a mirror match or not, you just want to potentially see a lot of different decks in your tournament event, best of 1 premier drafting does bump that up. It's a plus for that as well. You play roughly the same number of overall games, but in best of 3, of course, you're playing 2 of 3, and you're only at most seeing 3 different decks. Whereas in a premier deck that goes the distance, and you're playing at 6-2, that means you're playing a 9th game. You can have as many as 9 different decks that you face in a deep run of best of 1. So that's how the systems affect variety in limited. I'm not going to say they reduce variety in limited. I'm going to say it affects variety in limited. And whether it's a pro or a con, a feature or a bug, depends on what you're looking for out of your draft experience. So, oh, Gentle Dental? Why is Gentle Dental calling me? You fought my mouth yesterday. Hold on a second. I'm going to call that an AMA done. Yeah, is the other side of your mouth ready to be wrecked yet? Actually, just a reminder that my son has an appointment on Thursday. All right. I'll call that complete. And then I'm actually going to log out of this account. As usual, I have a busy day ahead, but I think I'll take a look and see if there's something I can finish on one of my side accounts, since I'm going to end up playing there anyway, right? Let's see what we got over here. Yeah. I switched from masochistic dentistry to gentle dental. Is a great switch. Anything going on in this one? All right, here we go. We have a quick draft in progress. This is where I was forcing blue-black. Let's see how this looks. What did I get out of this one? This doesn't look that great for a force. Grafted Identity looks good. 1 Organ Hoarder. But, like, ended up kind of being a spells deck, really? Look at this. 16 instants and sorceries. There's a Delver. What am I not playing? Maybe I'm just getting too cute for my own good here. We could put in the Angler back in. Probably just being too cute with the Delver anyway. Let me get out of your way, though. I know the Wrangler isn't good here, but like over what, right? I think I just looked at this as was looking at a total spell build here, but we should probably just build this in a more traditional way here, and like drop some of this counter magic. I was just, I think did I even play a game with this? I don't know. I'm gonna go with a more traditional look. With 2 Awakeners, I just want an Occultist in as well. And this Blood Thief is fine. And probably want to get to 17 lands even. Could play a Bat Whisperer to help give bodies for the thing. I don't know how many, we don't have to run all these flips. We could cut a Geist Wave. Or a Fading Hope, one of these two. We had this discussion. I'm on liking Geist Wave a little more because of the self-bounce thing. But heck, we could probably cut... I guess Consider makes me be okay with 16 still. But I kind of want the 17. If I'm putting back in the Dreadhound. Let's cut the straight bounce and keep filling out with a little more options on the creature front. And I think this is okay, although, you know, we got like, I don't know, about 3 counters over just some of the bounce. Any opinions on kind of what of this spell suite to keep? Quick Draft Forgotten Realms. I wonder if they'll... I guess they adjusted it to not be quite as red-black friendly, but still pretty friendly. Maybe 1 switch, and we keep... I'm going to do this. Let's try this. Rob likes the Fading Hope over the Wave. I kept Wave over Hope, but I wasn't sure which is better. Twice as much mana is no joke. Having to hold up 2 over 1 is a real cost of the Wave, but being able to self-bounce for value is a real benefit of the Wave, so I don't know. Ooh, no swamp for the Awakener. This hand would be uber perfect. Awakener, Startle, sack it. Darn it, but we're going to keep on the strength of the other stuff going on here. Yeah, non-creature, non-land permanent over creature is no joke either. You're a little bit late, Swamp, but you know what? We'll take you. No, but now I want to, Neuromancer. Ship that meme. We're going to hold up Startle. And Wave. Little Teamertron for Oppo right off the bat. We want the Startle so that we get a creature to sack to the Awakener. Now we really say, Urge Overkill, you better kill this Awakener, or we get value. Alright, that is not going to do it in terms of stopping the Awakener from happening, so we're going to make that play. Attack with everything. We're sacking it before we hit blocks anyway, so... Or hit damage. Their spells get super cheap for a turn. Maybe they get a bargain turn. But we can wave and then dissipate. Well, with Dissipate and Wave, we're certainly sending in here and letting them see what they want to do. And then probably want to keep both of them up. Oh, great. That means they have something they're going to try, and we get to blow it out. Or they get to blow us out. I mean, they have cheap instants here. Although, this is not even an instant. All right. Let's just Revenge. It takes away the Howl, makes them replay this without a counter, and we can even play the zombie afterwards. Yeah, I could wave it and then counter it on the way back down, but we even still have that play coming up anyway. Let's make him... we'll still do that, but we make him recast it one more time before then. Yeah, that's true. They had a lot of things they could counter for 1 mana. Yeah, for 1 mana and that thing with the power of 2, there was a lot of things they could have had. That's true. Definitely playing land. Maybe at this point I was just supposed to play more islands because of all the spells we have there. Now we're going to send in... And let's see. If they double block Guide and Angler, are we cool with waiving one of those instead? Instead of bouncing? Yeah, I think so. This thing's usefulness is diminishing anyway now. So I'm going to send. And make them choose. Make them see what they want to do. Yep. And I'm going to make them recast the Angler. Since that's got graveyard value, might as well put it back to their hand. And we could hold up the Dissipate, but... And, you know, exiling this with Dissipate, sure, but Organ Hoarder is just fine here. And then we get to preserve our position when we untap with the Dissipate. Sure, we'll take a Grafted Identity, thank you. Want that wave back now. As observed, that's a great reason to keep the wave in over the other bounce, because you can bounce the Identity to re-steal something else and draw a card. Garbage Andy, welcome. Ugh. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. Let's get to the right spot. You get your free meme, and then you get the appropriate one.
Oh, is that what you want? Yup. Because that's how you get ants.
Well, sure wish we'd had the Dissipate up for that, but I still like our overall position here. Decline. I want to cast that. We can also let it flip to midnight if we are... I don't think we need to cast this now. I think we send the Hoarder, being willing to trade it off for anything, and then we just sit back on everything else. Flipping after midnight. Werewolves to the dawn. Totally dissipating the more... Well, no more ants. You got your ants. The first ant's okay. Although I should... Like, maybe I should look for a flip. I think there's a flip still in here. So I should Blood Pact first. I should consider, but then if I don't find the flip, we can't dissipate, so I'll dissipate. Hey, have you seen my karaoke video? We do have ourselves a Weird Al over here. All right, what do we got here? Yes, take that action. Hound! Let's consider first, and then go from there. Weird Al is on my... Ooh, we're gonna put that in our graveyard. Oh, yeah. Weird Al is on my bucket list concert attendances, but I have not seen Weird Al yet. All right, now we're gonna drop Dreadhound and offer up our demon. If this could be anything up to a 3 mana spell in hand, especially if there's a pause. And maybe I'm not supposed to send this because of the Larder Zombie. I'm just being greedy on the pings, but honestly probably shouldn't do it. And I am going to take the Archmage out over the 3/3. Right now, I mean, this has a special ability, but also it can get bigger than a 3/3 if we let it go on. All y'all rubbing in your Weird Al concerts. Carefully tapped angler. I always note when oppos are manually tapping mana. Funny. Funny, funny, funny. Guess what, friend? Wow, we don't even need to do it with this. I get to startle and do it that way. And it gets bigger and bigger as it goes back and forth. We have looting in the deck. Should I be sandbagging this land? Flip, bat, ambush, wrangler, awakener, eaten. No. So I'm just gonna play it. I don't care. You can see. You can see, Oppo. You go ahead and take the path to the festival. A couple of scries don't suck here, but can't be that bad for us. It's dogs all the way down here. Didn't even want to play it out. All right. I figured with this color, they probably have bounce or something. Maybe they could bounce their own identity. I don't know. We'll take it. We'll take it. Oh, my numbers are all wrong here. We are now on, what is this? 2-0? And yeah, I think I tried the spell version for fun and it worked, but it's not correct to leave the doggy out of this deck, I don't think. This is quick.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
They're bottomless, Andy. One of my to-do list items is to come up with the one-button meme randomizer so that we can pick with what might now literally be over 100 memes. It's probably well over 100 now. Yeah, it's gotta be. Nice keep here. Just missing something on 2 for the Awakener. Hey, we could sack that. We don't even have that many things. We'll have to decide. But, oh, wait. Hold on. Sorry. I went too far. Too far! Oh, Startle. You're so late. We could have been sacking to the Startle token. Still could. We can just, I I like startling for attacks. I mean, if we attack in here, it looks like we're just looking to awaken her. And this is a Field of Ruin? Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna let him block and actually use the startle here. Well, not too punished. They found both their colors despite the field, but this is why I don't run field. I mean, what are you exactly getting with this? And what is it doing besides messing with your mana, making your mana worse? All right, now we've got... I'm going to go ahead and play this land, although we don't need it out now because I really am going to flip the Awakener here. That's the play. And to that end, I'm going to attack with Awakener and Zombie Token. Get this flipped while the flipping is good. And a really interesting block. I think we're seeing silver plays here, gang. Both in the running of the Field of Ruin and of effectively chumping there. Oppo with all the angles, us with all the startles. Pause from Oppo suggests, well, I don't know, this is their main phase. They could have had a sorcery they chose not to play, maybe Crawl or something. Now if there's no pause, it means they have got some sort of black sorcery. If there's a pause, it just means they have the exile from graveyard, make a decay token. I'm going to definitely play this out anyway. And then we have startle plus flip available. Nobody expects the second flip, or the second startle. Oh wait, no, we totally do expect the second startle. And yeah, good call, Skeevy. That makes sense that could be eaten alive. That explains it well. And flip the switch is going to explain to Oppo how soon they're going to lose this game. I mean, I could have even let that happen. Like, who cares? But, yeah, I mean, winning's all right. Ooh. It's a trap meme. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, man. This is why I need better controls.
You've activated my trap card! It's a trap! It's a trap! It's a trap!
All right, as long as we're down here in the old meme territory.
Warriors, come out to play.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's brewed here. It's yours and mine.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can!
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can!
Well, I'm going.
Go on!
Oh, yeah? Do you want to... Tron, you want to log in and make 115 different individual meme redemptions?
I'm walking here. I'm walking here. I'm gonna shoot. You're taught me that way.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Stop!
Carry on my wayward son.
Cawthorn, the absolute beauty of it is that I've made 0 of them. My son has made a few, and then incredible viewers have made the rest. I sometimes suggest what we could make, but mostly I'm just a soundboard for ideas. And speaking of, here's the OG. This is the meme that started it all, and it all started because so many Magic cards trigger songs in my head. Like, I cast a card, and in my head I'm singing a song. And at the time, the one that was happening most often, we were back at Guilds of Ravnica, and this is what went through my head every time this card was cast. So we turned it into a meme.
Some say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
So simple, but that's what started it all. You were waiting for it, Mama. Here's my victory dance on Fridays.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
All these classics. Hardly anybody ever saw this one.
Excuse me, is there a Cliff Clove in here?
It's Cliff Clavin, partner, and you're looking at him.
Making your way in the world.
That card didn't get played much.
Don't know about the future.
All right, I'll play one more here. Game, that is. The memes are endless. Not forbidden. Maybe did I finally load it? Maybe it's actually loaded now. I don't think so, though. It's forbidden because it's not loaded. And it's too long to bother loading. Can keep this. All right, ideally we find something to do on 2, because Blood Chief... I'm never going to not see Blood Chief with this dang card. Blood Thief, not great on 3 with nothing to support it, but it is what it is. It's so weak, I might just hold up the Dissipate here, but... am I really ready to dissipate whatever they do on 4? It might be Hoarder. I'll do it. I'll hold it. I mean, the Thief's not getting through the 1-3 anyway. Are we dissipating that, though? We don't have actually anything for the air. So this is a significant clock, and we do have other things to do coming up. So I'm gonna fire this off, even though I'll be sad if they come up with a Hoarder instead. But since this is gonna clock us in the air unchecked, at least based on our current hand for a ways to come, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Not my favorite use of that, though. Brace yourself for the Hoarder. No Hoarder. All right, well, we're going to try ours into open mana. Might get countered, but make him have it. At least it'll clear our Dreadhound path a little bit. There was a pause, but no counter. Not sure what that means, but what a great Hoarder. Getting a Consider and getting rid of 2 lands. Like, I like my Hoarder play better than their Deluge play. That's how you... Listening to everybody on coverage pronounce this card in a different way was the thing that made me cringe all weekend long. I believe it is deluge, but it's a tricky one. Maybe I just mispronounced it too, but pretty sure that's deluge. Like del is huge, but you take out the H. Or del's luging. Yeah, you've heard deluge, but go find me a dictionary pronunciation guide that says deluge. If you think it's deluge, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm like, show me. Can you find me a definitive source that says that's a way to pronounce it? Yeah, maybe it's just pronounce it how you want type card. There are some of those. All right, let's consider to see if we change our play for the turn. Yeah, that's what I mean. Give me an audio dictionary that pronounces it day, because I can find you an audio dictionary that pronounces it del, but I'm just curious if it's what the dictionary folks think. We're going to decline to mill that because we can actually play a land and cast it, and that seems good. Now that's a little more definitive since Garruk is a character created by people who named him Garruk, not Garuk. Garuk is simply not correct. It never has been. Wait for the day crowd to come up with a link. Come on, day crowd, give me a link of a dictionary audio site that pronounces it day. It is too late to cancel your order, Rob. Most deaf. This mirror can really be punished by a revenge eventually, but are we playing that long of a game with the Dreadhound coming down? And honestly, they kind of want dead castaways, but we're going to start giving them to them, I think. And I am going to go ahead and revenge. We have a second one, right? Or I got to make sure I'm not mixing up my decks. Oh, this is the only one, but we do have other tools here. This is an interesting spot, because this is a bad card if we can get it dead before it matters, but if it suddenly flips and starts mattering, maybe we just lose to it. But I don't want to leave this mana fallow. So I'm going to go ahead and bounce their zombie. And then it reduces, and we can still do this. That's nice. That's one reason I want to do this. Let's see. What do we get? Bats. Do we want that? We're going to play Dreadhound. Do we want the bats behind, or are we kind of just okay not drawing that? I think with the Dreadhound, we're probably okay drawing this. I'm going to decline and go ahead and draw that. Even though we're doing this turn. And now we have to decide if we're offering a hoarder for a castaway. I don't love that offer. And next turn we can send the zombie to get a trigger for the bats if we need to. I'm just going to pass here. Although, gosh, if we're not getting them dead, what are we doing? We're going to lose to this. We're going to lose to this. Like, there's a lot of value that we're going to lose to if we're not applying pressure. So I think I will... But then they get a flyer, and that's real... Oppo kind of doing it in terms of flustering me here. I don't love our long game plan, but I don't love giving them their plan. Oh, carriage even makes this worse. So, like, this is slipping away from us a little bit. Good stuff from Oppo. Let's see what they get with the carriage. This could be brutal. Could have been worse. Crawl is solid. Could have been worse. Oh, let's do this again, of course. Hello, friend. We will carefully decline to put that in our graveyard. We will carefully sack this zombie to take it. And then we'll even cast a Blood Thief after that. Now, I say, go ahead and trade for that Hoarder now. If you want to spend the next turn doing that, it's probably good for us. We get damage in, we get to grow the Thief. They got a lot of problems to solve. Hopefully we get them dead before they do. Question mark. But they got some answers. That mirror's not going to flip yet. That's good news. Let's see what they come up with here. I could go look in them for graveyard. They got so many things to do. We just got to wait and see how they handle it. This seems great. Like, I don't care about that at all. Seems like one of the worst plays they could make out of those options. I don't know. Like, this doesn't do enough. But maybe they didn't have anything else. Again, I'm not really looking. It's Oppo's problem to solve, not mine. I'll deal with everything when the dust settles, figure it out. Yeah, it seemed like a rough turn for them and kind of just gives us the win. Oppo agrees. Don't know if they had anything else, but I don't understand what that turn was about. Besides Magic being hard, which is usually the answer. And no shame, Oppo. Hard dang game. So you found a spot that accepts it as a non-standard, but no audio dictionary yet? Seems like an accepted non-standard because of classic language, where it's like, it was just wrong, but people were wrong so often that it started to become correct, which is just language for you, right? Wrong so much it's right. The evolution of language. As a parent, you don't know how you scar your children all the time. And apparently one of the ways I scarred my son without knowing it was kind of comically being a grammar Nazi about Super Smash Brothers, which we've talked about on stream before. And I was kind of over the top, like, it's brothers, not bros, because everybody calls it Smash Bros, including my son. And I was like insisting to him that it was just incorrect. And he was like, it troubled him. Like, anyways, I just didn't know he took it to heart as much as more than I intended when I was almost exaggerating my railing against such terminology. Well, I was all set to consider on one, but now we're going to go ahead and Awakener on one. Again, without the great turn 2 play to allow us to hit turn 3 running with the Awakener. But we can consider and at least set up our draw from here. Exactly. Thank you, Happy. In the iteration of the game itself identifies itself as Super Smash Brothers. Another audio link we can actually play you. But it doesn't matter though, does it, Happy? If you and me call it Super Smash Brothers and the rest of the 8 billion people in the world call it Super Smash Bros, who's actually right? Of course the box says BROS period, because BROS period is pronounced brothers. That's how you pronounce that. BROS period. Well, you and me are the same on that, Tron, but we are vastly outnumbered, it turns out. Ooh. No day-night cycling. I want to kill this thing, but currently this card doesn't do it, and we need the land anyway, so I got to take the action. Ugh. Well, we can larder and eaten alive, which I think we got to do here. It's not a very sexy play. Maybe we don't need to worry about the Wardens that much yet. Like, we could even, like, take it a turn, but then what? Like, if we do nothing, we untap, we find our third land, then what? Like, we just got to take our 2 for 1 against right now and get rid of the Wardens. That's one where I don't know. I just don't like saying the word for short animated movie. All right. Well, now I got to startle main phase because if we do find a land off it, we really want to play it. So whatever. Cycle. Find land. Land? No. Now if we find land, we have a sack, though. So despite how poorly this is going, we're not even out of this. Didn't hit a land. Feeling pretty out of this, and could bounce our own token to get a land. We lose our Awakener sack, but what are we doing here if not? We can set them back a turn. I guess we're on set them back a turn, but boy, it feels like we got to draw. Like maybe I Geist Wave the Awakener and we find a swamp and replay the Awakener. I think we're at that level here. I mean, and we're effectively at a virtual 6 on this, even if it works, but what else do we do? I mean, I don't know what to do. It worked. Hooray, it worked. We get the meme again. You can't make a giraffe without a GIF. It's the old saying. If we win this, sorry, L, but you can call it a comeback. I think that just put us away. This has made it highly unlikely that we get to the victory lap in this one. But here, I'll give you a search party captain meme. We got that going for us.
Not only am I your ship's captain, I am also your party captain. Woo! We're gonna get it going here in just a few minutes.
I'm your party captain too, and
All right, what does this do for us? Kind of got to keep the revenge up. If we flip Awakener, we're dead. The only way we're not dead is if we chump a 3, bounce a 3, and take 4. Can we move on? We're not going to win this game. Just stumbled on mana and got too far behind. Because, I mean, I could not die that turn, but we go to almost 0, and then, like, we're chumping. We just have no way to win that. Hey, dang boy. Nah, good game. I thought about surviving for one more turn, but couldn't come up with then how we win from there, so we just moved on. Good looking deck. Coven's a cool mechanic. It's a cleverly named mechanic, and I love that it has a pun in the legitimate rules text. Like, the rules text for the card has a pun in it. That's great. But, and it is fun. It's a fun little puzzle to solve, right? You got to work for it a little bit, plan around it a little bit. I agree. Coven surprised me at how much I liked how it played and just how it tickled me. Ugh. We got Consider and Larder Zombie, but still managed to draw our Covetous Castaway, when really what we want to do is mill that. Oh well. I'll Larder Zombie here, sure. No surprise to see a lot of blue-black mirrors in the quick draft. Awakener, you are a turn late. You are making a habit out of that, friend. But in this case, we're gonna go ahead and play the Castaway. Next turn, we have Startle and Consider. Or we could play the Awakener if we want the haste angle, but basically one of the things you can do with Awakener is treat it as a 4-drop 2 black spell if you don't want to be don't want to have it interrupted at all. The Siege Zombie attack is interesting. It screams of a Startle, actually, that they might as well, because they can Startle to save it. I'm going to snap block. I don't really care if they spend any resources on either of these 2 cards. Somebody paste the rules, the official rule, like, where is it? Let's find a Coven card. Because it says 3 different powers. Get it? They're witches. It's not that they all punch for different amounts of strength. It's that the witches do 3 different things with their supernatural abilities. Powers? Okay, Tron, I'll explain it again for Tron. No, I won't. And specifically what makes it good, though, is that it's plural. Like, in the rules, it's not power. A power of 1, 2, or, it's powers. I just love that it's plural powers. That's the thing that gets me in it. All right, what are we doing here? We want Awakener. We can't. I may as well do this. We know we want an island down. I'm going to give them the window to kill the Awakener in exchange for our chance to do it hasty style. It also gives us, although we could have startled to set to get the tool. Like, we really want to startle before we untap any, although actually what we want to sack is the Castaway. So I want to sack the Castaway more than a Startle token. And we can even... Well, I'm going to Startle first. Make sure this just resolves. There's no sense throwing the Castaway in front of the Archivist if it's just going to be eaten. So let's do this. But now we can even try and kill it. Maya's. We're gonna get dead Castaway and flip the Awakener. Yeah, that's true. If we didn't care about either of them dying, we could block first, but I'm fine with this too. Certainly don't care about the Castaway dying, but I'm trying to sack it to the Awakener, although with the spare token it didn't really matter either that way either. And if that's their follow-up, that's good for us too. It's not the most powerful 4-drop. It's good. It's good. I like it though. It's the backside that makes me love this card, because you start swinging in for the loot. Love that. Startle. We're gonna decline to mill that, although we can't both Awakener, Startle, but it's a powerful enough card that I'm gonna have it in our hand. Maybe I should send both and see how they want to block. We're gonna have more tokens here if we want zombie tokens for anything. Dreadhound's a reasonable draw here. Oh yeah, I should have done it. Well, I didn't hold priority because I just got more damage for it that way. Yeah, wasn't going to sack the zombie. But yes, if we sack the zombie, definitely want to hold priority. Although, no, we don't, because it's still more damage, right? If you let demon and token land, you're getting 3. If you let the flip demon land, you're getting 4. So you only want to do that trick when it gets you more damage. You get to consider into the Castaway, into the Dreadhound, and if they don't counter either the Castaway or the Dreadhound, counter or kill, then we basically just win the game. But plenty of things could answer these, but we have 2 very nice threats coming up. And also they got a turn 4 here. Let's see what they pop down. Organ Hoarder, oh, sorry, 5. Nothing? Let's see if there's a pause here on this consider. Yes, there's a pause, so... But that looks like what it was for, and we're gonna take that action.
All things that I used to know have gone out the window.
We have lands 5 and 6, so I'm gonna skip the wilds, even though it would be nice to loot, and we're just gonna go with the, or sorry, to thin our deck of lands, but Castaway, too important. We'll go ahead and do that. So many things we'd like to get back. How about an Organ Hoarder for sure? How about an Awakener would be fine. And Startle, Consider, or Geistwave, an interesting trio of options to reload with. Consider is easy. I mean, it's fine. It just does, you know, it's going to improve our draws down the road. Let's just do that. If we draw Consider, it can be the next, the best card coming up, which is fine. Oh, wow, that's cool, Buck. You knew stick fingers had to have some cool utility, and somebody around here has also observed it's not that bad. Like it's a 2-drop that can grow basically. No Castaway, but we still got our doggy. Might not even cast it this turn here though. With Occult, we could even go Awakener. Yeah, we can go Awakener, Occultist, sack Occultist. And then have Dreadhound behind, or is that just over? Maybe I should do Dreadhound and then we do the whole thing behind for extra value. Yeah, I'm gonna just get the doggy going here. Shields are down. Haunt doing some work here. Card quality for Oppo. We're doing some of that as well with the larder zombie. Castaway, obviously a great block, and therefore Revenge, obviously a great draw. And we're gonna just pop that up and drop like Occultist to max mana. We can do this too. Might as well do that for anything that might draw us a card or something. Yeah, I like attack, revenge, and drop one of our other creatures. Drown it after they flip cast it is also interesting. But I kind of like, with them at 14, I kind of like just doing it now. Kinda. He says doing it now. Oppo pausing. What does that mean? Startle? Startle wouldn't change anything about that, but it would cause the pause. Indeed, it is a startle. And we're going to go Awakener, so that next turn we can play the Occultist, sack it, and attack with the 4/4 instead of Occultist for max mana, but then we don't get to attack with the Awakener next turn. We can move away their flyer even. Very nice. I don't mind our line because it's going to set us up to attack with things that are much bigger than a 3/4 flyer, and the doggy swings the race in our favor, as does the startle. Really tanking on the discard here, which is surprising me given that they have a Castaway in hand. They must have some 2-spell opportunity they're considering, that maybe they want to, say, cast the Castaway to chump the Dreadhound and then do something else with the other 2 cards in their hand. I bet that's kind of what they're considering here. Well, that's weird, though, because, like, that's just a no-brainer pitch. I guess unless you really just want to actually cast the... Yeah, so I'm sure that's what they were thinking about. We'll see how it goes. And see what they play. Like, what are their... What they have... What is this? Is it anything else? Okay, so yeah, I see why they did what they did. especially getting the Awakener dead here. We can larder in response, though, at least. Wrangler answers a lot of questions, and we can even wrangle with what's in our hand. We got Wrangler, Creature, Creature. But we're going to do the startle on their turn, and then make a third creature with which to tap down the Haunt. Stop that card train from rolling. And I could even leave the Hound back and tap 2 things ahead of presumably a big crackback, but we'll save that tap 2 things play possibly for later. I think we're close to tapping 2 things while still attacking with a Dreadhound, depending on what Startle produces. Oh yeah, maybe I just had lethal. Yeah, sorry, I should be thinking about wrangling to tap down blockers. That was lazy of me. Right on Borg. Hopefully it doesn't cost us. Let's see if they top deck. Because we can still get it next time. Or it was, well, let's see, we spend... No, it's 9, right? Because we spend 3, tap down the 1 blocker, crack in for 8, and then this dies into the 9th. So yeah, I missed lethal. Bad me. And let's see what they do with this gift from me. I don't love letting them loot, but I sure love letting them attack with a blocker. Maybe what we do is tap down the Interloper. Although, how do they win if we tap their 1 blocker here? I think we just say pass. And, I mean, I know they get the Interloper, but that's okay. And they even get a loot, and that's okay. Because we can startle to save some damage, and then really be in a position to be tough to lose unless they come up with some sort of meat hook massacre type situation. Oppo agrees. So yes, gave him an extra turn to try to find something like a meat hook massacre. That would have maybe been magic justice, but hard game. Sometimes our mistakes don't cost us. It didn't there. I think of Scob so much as the, like I just saw this, I saw the Scob and my thought was, great, now we can tap that flyer. That was what I thought about that. Not, great, now we can win the game right now. And I failed to look for that. Well, let's just finish out this event here. I don't think I have any obligations besides all the various adulting waiting for me. Yeah, forcing blue-black is certainly viable. This is probably my worst blue-black force result yet, and it's still fine. We're still... I haven't updated my... sorry, this is... Where are we now? We're at 4-1, I think, instead of 3-0. Did we lose once? Are we 4? I can't remember what our record is. Somebody tell me. I think we have 4 wins. I just can't remember if we have a loss or not. I think profit for a quick draft is at 6, though. Yeah, true profit. Startle. Startle is the main thing that the bots seem completely uninterested in, such that if you're playing in quick draft and your opponent is pausing with blue and another mana up, like Startle should just be on your list of what you is kind of most likely. Most likely it's Startle, but they don't take really any of the bounce or non-removal interaction very highly. Maybe I should have bounced the Awakener before they just play a land and get to Larder Zombie it. But if they do that, I probably just bounce the Awakener and accept the loss in card advantage, but the gain in tempo. This is where it sucks being on the draw with counter spells, because they're just getting stuff down ahead of our counter magic, and then with us not really having done much else, although now I should probably wave something here, and I like waving the Awakener and then countering it on the way back down. It's a lot of, we take some Abomination damage coming up here, but I like solving the Awakener problem we're gonna have, getting in front of this. Castaway, you're late. But good choice to sack to the identity. Oh yeah, you got your Falcon meme. Another Falcon Abomination. I'm gonna just flip the switch. Although I guess I could use Dissipate and then flip. We can, if we draw like a Larder, we can play the Larder and hold up flip. So I'll use Dissipate. Thinking I would save Dissipate for, also Dissipate's a hard counter and flip is a soft, but flip is definitely gonna get something coming up here. Yeah, it gets colder as we go longer, but we're gonna fire it off, right? Might not do it here, though. We go Castaway. I kind of like Revenge on upkeep. Although they're still showing the... I'm going to still try and get that pesky Awakener.
Hold on to your butts.
Three drop would be nice so that we can go cast away some 3-drop. If we don't find, like, we just draw a land, what's our plan? I mean, I guess I'm still playing the Castaway. That sucks. Maybe I'm not. Maybe we go bounce, or maybe we revenge the Awakener here. Make him draw that again. It's really like making him draw again. And given the lack of lands. So we got a revenge here. And then maybe we grafted Identity, the Awakener, and with this, and then flip the Awakener with this. Let's see if they go top with this. Do they really? I want to draw it again. Okay, that's cool. Oppo in the tank. Well, you kept your Awakener. What else are you going to do? All right. I'm going to go Castaway. And for now, let's see. I guess I really want the Castaway dead. So in case they have something to disrupt our plan here, I'm going to sack the Castaway now. Against blue, this could get bounced pretty easily. This is no guarantee we untap with the Awakener, but with a mana screwed opponent, we're going to make them have it and put them to the pressure if they don't. Pausing here could be, as I say, could be crawl or something, or a sorcery speed at this point. All right, 7 means we get to 2 spell here. Fruit Fly, get the hell away from me. You're lucky you're not dead. You will be soon. Your minutes are numbered, pal. Oh, but we can't do this, this, and this. So I guess, what are we doing first? I'm going to flip this while the flipping's good. Let's send it in, see if they want to block. Startle gives us some defense against an attack back. So I'm going to go ahead and crack in instead of leaving the Awakener on D. Also, again, you know, they're stuck on 3. We got to pressure them while we can. With Larder in the deck, I really should have manually left up 2 islands, because we could have Larder Zombie plus Hold Up Startle, and I didn't give us the chance to have that play. Oh, wait, sorry, we haven't played land yet, so we would have had it, but still, you know what I mean. Like, think through what you're tapping before you just let Auto Tapper get you. Hey, Joni. Welcome. Found their 4th land, so Oppo's starting to unlock things. Where are they going to go with this? Awakener into sack it, sack the zombie? That's not the worst. I love our Startle here helping us with some of the potential double blocks upcoming to try and deal with our demon. But here we go for the race play. I like it. We're at 8, they're at 15. They're just going to try and race us. Why not? Go to blockers, cast the Startle, though. Prevent some of that damage. Oh, the floods. Oppo screwed, we're flood. You know how that goes when they say those 2 things are happening. You know how that goes. And boy, is it going. My goodness, deck. We will say goodbye to fun times today. Getting a little stuck with too many lands here. But been having fun. And can't win the race anymore, so we're just going to stay back on D. Let's see, what's Castigator gonna get us back to help us with this sitch? We got, I think Revenge is good. Our own Awakener is good. Larder Zombie actually not bad for giving us some tools, but I also like the Geist Wave play as well. We'll just take some interaction and power, throw it back in the deck. Right now, we have blocks, but they have this Siege Zombie that gets to just wait us out if we stay back on blocking all the time. So we really need something off the top here. You wanted to put the dissipate back in? I didn't want to put anything reactionary back in. We don't want to top deck answers. We don't want to top deck counterspells at this point, right? The threats have already landed. Oppo trying to figure out whether to, what, attack or not. I mean, you don't have attacks. I mean, it depends on what they have. I guess if they've got a startle, maybe they're thinking that a go-wide attack could be even better if they can save their demon. Yeah, we know they only have spells. It's from the Mana Screw, and no doubt trying to find the right answers. Well, that's trouble. Not gonna lie. That is mega trubs. I don't know how we live. We only live if they instinctively fear us blocking with decay tokens. I'll leave 2 cards in hand to represent something. I don't know. So dead. Maybe I should move on and then get to the last game. Or what we have, maybe 2 more? I think we're like 5 and 2. I think we're 5 and 2 now, right? Who knows? I'm gonna guess 5 and 2 and change it if I'm wrong. All right. That's why I scooped it up. No matter what they're afraid of, if they remember to tap their siege zombie, we just kind of lose. Reasonable keep for sure. Let's see what we draw from here. What is this zombie carrying? What is going on in this art? It really does look like it's trying to open a pickle jar and is frustrated with its lack of limbs to do so. There's flavor text. The Cathars arrived at the abandoned lab to find many of the unfinished projects gnawing on one another. Oh, there's a brain in... I get it! There's a brain in the jar! I couldn't see until now that there's a brain in that jar, so of course the zombie is trying to get into that jar. Ha ha ha! Always check this flavor text to understand what's going on. Alright. We're just gonna snap that off. Bye. Ah, this is flippin' awesome. I'm gonna play the swamp so they maybe, if they have some sweet spell that will make them a little less likely to play around counter magic because we don't have the blue. Countering like anything, just anything. Oppo pausing on that, so we don't know what they've got, but something instant speed in black, red, and 2 mana. We could look up possibilities, of course, but I'm too lazy for that nonsense. That's not true. I'm not too lazy. I'm just not going to do it right now because it doesn't actually impact my decisions. If it suddenly impacts my decisions, I'll look it up. Yeah, it could be ambush, could be... There's the 3 damage burn spell at uncommon. We're going to revenge that, keep him tempoed, and larder zombie at least. Because you know there's a land here. We're just in flood mode, so at least we get to get rid of the land on top and instead draw the land underneath, which is a little better than drawing the land on top and then drawing the land underneath after. Certainly ambush would explain the pause in that we've done nothing yet that they would even consider ambushing. Yeah, good point, Rob. That's kind of what I was getting at there. Why ambush makes more sense than the pyre. Although people don't necessarily want to use their premium removal on larger zombies either. All right, cool. Got the land off the top. Now here comes the land. I suppose I could put an upkeep stop and get rid of the land on top here. I chanced it. We found a spell. It's not one we can really use right now. I'm not going to startle just to cycle for our turn because we have lands to play. We're just going to say no attacks and hope that we can larder our way to more advantage. I'm thinking people should be killing larders these days, but they still don't. I am going to use up a startle on a cycle here. We want to, although I should larder first in that way, I suppose. Maybe it doesn't matter. If we like it, we're going to keep it and draw it, I suppose. I'm trying to find pressure. We've got to find pressure and then we can apply it, right, Rob? Plan A, find pressure. Plan B, apply it. We will decline to put that in our yard. And yeah, we'll startle to draw it so that we keep moving on here, and because we may be able to do multiple things coming up. If we are thinking, ooh. That could change things for us. I kind of like Awakener leave mana up, because if they go for a midnight ambush, we can sack in response. And if we go for it and they do have the ambush, we still get our card. But I'm going to save the Grafted Identity, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to Awakener, and even Eaten Alive here. I just feel like they've got the ambush, though. I'm going to play it a little cagey. Do we have any vamps in this deck? Bat Whisperer. And that's it. Bat Whisperer. Fun. And try and leave that stranded. Can we take its enchant creature so we don't get to take this? Do we? Was that this deck or the other one? Oh yeah, sorry, we do have the Blood Thief, you're right. I missed it. Yeah, let's flip Awakener now with shields down over there. Gonna fill you with Dreadhound. That seems great. Slide this in before they get anything else down. And pile on. Okay, now we're applying pressure, Rob. Are you happy? If I do this and this, we can actually larder zombie if we think that's more important than 2 damage. And maybe it is, with them not having good blocks. I'm gonna do this. And then we have a larder activation. But this sacks and deals damage with the Dreadhound, etc. And if their plan is race off the lifelink here, I'm okay with that too, because we just end up stealing it with the grafted. This thing can't even block. I think we just win, unless they've got. I mean, we're okay. Oh, hey, Eaten Alive is good. We still are waiting. We haven't really seen their instant speed thing that they're holding. Something here is instant speed. We'll let them attack if they want here. I'd rather larder. Take that action. Yeah, it could be raise the effigy. That is making this pause now. Interesting. That and Castaway Identity. Again in a larder spot. This time I'm going to go for damage. And what do we sack? At this point, just the zombie. Arrogant got some back, but right now we're still on track to win next turn. It was the Pyre. So now Demon, if they don't want to just, I guess, yeah, we Demon and then they probably ought to chump. But we can make it 3-4 and we can eat alive the demon and just kill their outlaw to at least keep them off of being able to mask up and get some lifelink. And we like ourselves an ambush. We like ourselves Bat Whisperer. We like ourselves Grafted Identities and Awakeners. Let's do this. And we can also just pass and but we want this thing dead. That's fine. So we'll give up our sack a creature, target this, and sack this. Here we go. Oh, sure, to get eaten the deck. That's fair. All right. Full count, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binaries all. Full count, 6 and 2. The bases are loaded. It's the bottom of the 9th. We didn't get a trophy in our first draft. Maybe we can trophy here. Ooh. Interesting situation. We have the Awakener Occultist sequence, but we have an Evolving Wilds and only one other land. I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. I mean, of course we're going to keep, but what I'm saying is I'm going to swamp Awakener. Maybe we go land and can still pull it off, but we need land to be able to do the Awakener into Occultist into sack, but we'll try. Maybe we get it. And if not, we wilds and accept that as well. At least we have blue mana. If this had been a swamp instead, we'd be sitting at swamp, wondering. Woof. I consider the need for another land. Come on, consider. Show us a land. All right, we'll take it. Oh, wait. Almost. It's so... Oh, the UI is bad. Yes! I got a card I want. Decline. That's really what I just did. Sweet! We got it. Click the decline button.
Sorry. Because I distracted you with my fine ass.
Uh-huh. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I want the Occultist as the sack fodder for the Awakener, so I'm going to play it instead of holding up the removal. Holding up the interaction. Yeah. Yeah, that's my... She's all mine. She's all mine. You back off. Do we see a pause? And if so, do we go for the Awakener anyway? Probably need to just do it to draw the card, because even if they have like ambush to get our Awakener, we draw the card. And we draw this. We need to find our land drop. So I'm going to send in. Oh, and there is a pause. So it feels like we're not going to keep our Awakener. But similarly, I am not going to play around the ambush because I want to go ahead and draw cards. So they're like, haha, we're going to get him. It's like, I know you're getting us, Oppo. Hey, look, it's Stormblessed, by the way. Kaladin. Kaladin is about to kill our Awakener with an Olivia's Midnight Ambush. How are we supposed to beat Kaladin? And we didn't find a land and all that. Well, makes it all the more important that we did it, right? We got 2 non-lands out of the way. I see how it's going to be, deck. I see how it's going to be. Well, we're going to take some serious pain here. We're going to blood pact ourselves, go to 12. We're going to find a land. We're going to go 11, 10, 9, 8. And then we're going to steal a tapped Opportunist or something? I don't even know how we win this now. Maybe I'm just supposed to play a Blood Thief because it can block a zombie? But they're probably happy with that because then it draws cards and stuff. But I kind of think we need to threaten to kill something. So I'm going to go Thief. And try to represent blocks on the zombie. Trouble is, the Thief dies, and then we're just in terrible shape. Ugh. Well, Oppo not attacking is huge and is going to give us some modicum of hope. And having Startle plus Ambush here and plus the Revenge gives me some hope too. So we're just going to hang tight. Try to play at instant speed here for another turn and turn it into some sort of advantage for us. Under Siege is extra rough. I think what we do is go for the block. This seems fine. I don't know what else they've got going on, but so far this is great. Like, I know no matter what they do here, I'm happy. We do this, and we just get to try to pick it off with the ambush. What did they... And they sacked... was it a zombie token? Oh, and veteran, of course, sure. And then I'm just trying to figure out if we're... Yeah, we gotta go with the ambush play on the Flesh Taker here. Although if we do that, they can get even bigger with it. So we do that, then maybe I just revenge it. Maybe revenge is the play here. Because what else do we do if not that? We can startle it down to a 2/4, but that's still good for them. Or we can ambush it and make them sack something else. So if we ambush, we're just saying sack something else. That doesn't seem good enough. Let's save all the damage here, save our creature, and just make him recast a Flesh Taker. Oh, and sorry, not recast, it goes to the top. So that's nice too, they don't even get to recast that right now. Oh, but the draw does, of course the opportunist changes that, but I forgot. I was thinking they bounced it. We just bounced it. So at least they had to use their draw on that. One issue with the identity is the shields up on Flesh Taker. It is another creature, so what we might be in a spot of having to do here is actually grafted identity of Flesh Taker. That leaves us with at least a mana and a creature to threaten to pump it, and then it's a 3/3, and a 3/3 actually blocks their board well. Then our problem is the Siege Zombie, which we can kill with the ambush. Definitely want this land. Yeah, and the other, like, Morbid Opportunist is just silly. It's so hard to beat this. We could identity it and make them sack it, and then they don't get the card from it. Right? So I think we have to try to make them lose their own... Oh yeah, they get the card from sacking. Good point. Oh, except now... I gotta at least do this so I have control over my own turn. And say no attacks. And it does have to really be grafted identity taking the Flesh Taker then. But we could still take this. They get a card, but we still get this. I don't think we can beat it, so I'm going to take it. I don't know if this is perfectly right or anything, but we can't beat it, so I'm going to take it. Or make them sack it. And they sack it, but it's gone, right? And we just can't beat that card, and I don't think we can beat what they have left over, but I know I can't beat Opportunist, so I just made him get rid of it. I think it just means we're dead, but there you go. We took, we took our chances. Now Dreadhound just really slams the door. All right, Kaladin. Certainly can't be salty at an opponent who loves Sanderson enough to name their account Stormblessed. That rocks. We'll do this though. Right? Or maybe I just take it. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're just so dead no matter what. I am now just making legal plays before accepting our 6-3 result, which is profit. Can't make it. If we could make it night and kill the hound, and if it were night and we could kill the hound and make a blocker and startle a blocker, we'd be okay. We're just dead. All right, good job, Oppo. Stumbled to the Stormblessed and took it in the gut. But this blue-black force produced a 6-3. Not bad. Not bad. We'll take the profit. We'll take the fun. Take the cards and the collection building. And the zombies we made along the way. Serious. Oops. Here, we'll do this. Now that I've done that. Ooh, mythic. Thanks for hanging out today, YouTube friends. Although I'm not sure, I'm probably not, I'm not going to put this on YouTube. I'm saying goodbye to YouTube, but I already said goodbye to them on what they're going to see. This isn't going up on YouTube, except maybe as a just spare extras type deal. If so, hi YouTube. But fully expecting that YouTube probably doesn't see this one. And I believe we have a raid captain today. Where was that? Metal Mario. Sounds good. Scott? Where is Metal Mario? Hold on. I'm doing it from a different scene here. There, Metal Mario. Start that raid. Right on. Good day. Had fun with the decks we had fun drafting. Magic was generally interesting today, which is the most we can really ask for. That's why we do this. Ostensibly, we have fun with this game. Today proved that. I'm going to hop over here. All right, everybody. Wait, did it go away? Did I lose my raid? I think I clicked a button. I clicked away from it and lost my raid or something. Try that again. Or else it's gone away and I'm talking to nobody. That's also possible. And do it this way. Sorry about that. Let's try again. Bye, gang. See you tomorrow.